Matadors last year with Turner in center and now a platoon player, but he's been able to get it done early, and we hope to see more from him as the time goes on. And Fred Smith, who led the team last year in both hits and batting average, is due up now. He's at .333 through 4 games, has started every game for the Matadors, 5 for 15, 3 runs scored. He also has a triple, but that triple's a little deceptive. We'll get to that in a second as the first pitch from Ross, a little bit high and outside, ball 1. Freddie last week against Portland hit one to the gap, rounded second, got to third, got his hand under the tag, and then overslid the base and was tagged out. So officially a triple, but didn't result in anything on the positive half for the Matadors, as that 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike, 1-1. Should mention today's umpires: behind the plate, Michael Blinchy; at first base, Kevin Doherty; and over at third, Bradley Hungerford, same crew from yesterday, and they'll be with us all weekend. As that 1-1 is swung on, chopped up the middle, speared by Ross. Take a few steps underhand to first, and there are 2 gone. Kevin Riley comes up to bat now, a 176 hitter through 4 games, but really a power bat for the Matadors, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been struggling a little bit early on, but he did have that home run in the first series against Portland State and displayed some of that power. Coaching staff's really hoping that he can come around and be a catalyst for this team, because hitting in the 3 spot, you're going to need to produce. And, you know, if Arona, Turner, and Smith and these guys can get on base ahead of him, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to bring in some runs for the Matadors this year.
Here's the first pitch on the way. Fastball hits the inner half. Strike 1. We mentioned that home run, Brian, and he also had 2 doubles that game, but unfortunately for him, those are his only 3 hits so far this season. He's got a couple of runs batted in and a few scored, and hoping to jumpstart the Matadors here. Nobody on and 2 away, home half of the first. Shows bunt, fouls it off. I think he tried to pull that one back, and it still ended up glancing off the end of the bat.
And that's not a bad thought when you're in a little bit of a slump like he is, hitting 3 for his last 17. Thinking about laying a bunt down there, just get the hands moving, perhaps squeeze out a drag bunt single, and you know, sometimes that's all you need to push you in the right direction.
Swings and just gets a piece of that one as it goes back to the backstop. We'll stay at 0-2. I thought he missed and that it went through the catcher's legs. I was looking for him to run down to first on the drop third, but home plate umpire calls that a foul tip, and we'll reset and do it again. No balls, 2 strikes and 2 outs. Bottom of the first, no score. Second game of this 4-game set. Pitch on the way is a breaking ball, grounded to the left side. The third baseman, Richard Miller, crossed the diamond to first, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Matadors in the first. We head to the second, and we've got no score here on CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
The Sundial is more than just a great print newspaper. The Student Newsroom is your connection to CSUN every day, online, on the app, or on social media. Send us a snap, ask a question on Twitter, tag us on Instagram, and read the latest news, sports, and event guides right from your phone. We love to hear from you. Take a picture and tag the Sundial from the game or anytime.
Welcome back to Matador Field. No score as we head to the top half of the second inning. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Towson due up. The DH Logan Burke, then first baseman Colin Gimblett, and the left fielder Quinn Mullins. As we have 1 inning so far, 6 up and 6 down combined. Brian, what's your feeling? I know it's way too early to get any sort of projection, but defense, pitching,
Looks like Kevin Ross, the starter for the Towson Tigers, is using his off-speed quite a bit. So I think they're going to need to change their approach and to avoid getting into those late counts and possibly seeing more of those off-speed, being more aggressive early in the count and going after that first pitch if it's a strike. I know that was something that Coach Moore talked to them about yesterday, about letting a lot of first pitch fastballs go, and then as they got deeper in the count, they sort of caved into his strategies and started chasing a couple of those off-speed pitches late in the count.
First pitch from Myers was a breaking ball that missed. Second one is rocketed back up the middle. Nearly caught by Sam, but it gets through for a single. The first hit of the day comes for the Tigers and Burke, and he's officially batting 1,000 on the year, and that will bring up first baseman Colin Gimblett. Just the start yesterday for Gimblett. He's 1 for 5 in the game. Struck out one time against Weston. So Myers will work from the stretch for the first time today. We mentioned a little bit before the start of today's game that Myers 2 hits allowed in 5 innings last week, and now the hit here in the top of the second. Kicks and throws, and a first pitch breaking ball hits the outside corner for a called strike, strike 1. You mentioned the reliability of Sam Myers, Brian, and the team's willingness to play defense behind him and just that leadership out on the field. Myers was named to the preseason Stopper of the Year watch list as the 0-1 is grounded to the shortstop. That's booted and no play at first. That will go down as an E6, and the runner will advance to second, 2 on and nobody out.
Kevin, quickly on that ground ball, that's a tough play for Freddie to get that ball in between hops. It's a split-second decision you have to make as an infielder, whether or not you want to come in, charge the ball, and take away that hop, or if you want to risk it and sit back and get it on a little bit of a bigger hop. But it looks like Smith just got caught in the in-between hops right there, and it ate him up a little bit.
Well, that will bring up now sophomore left fielder Quinn Mullins. Mullins yesterday went 1 for 4, a double, and scored a run. And he's got a chance to do something here early for the Tigers. 2 on, no out, top of the second. Sam spins and looks at the runner at second. We mentioned that he was named to the Stopper of the Year preseason watch list, which is a little deceptive because he was a stopper last year. Switched to a starting pitcher this year, so he's probably going to drop off that list in a few weeks when they do that update. That's no knock against his quality. He's just not coming out of the bullpen anymore. Off speed, pulls the string, gets a strike, and the count is 0-1. Right-handed hitter is Mullins. Another righty on deck, Trey Martinez, the catcher. Corners pulled in here, Jason Newman at first and Bumstead at third. Gamble on a sac bunt. Myers gets a sign from Hubbard. Looks back to second. Goes off speed again, and a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Kevin, you mentioned that Sam has that reliever/closer experience from last year, and something that Coach Moore told me yesterday was that Sam is a starter pitching as a reliever, if that makes any sense. He goes out there, he finesses batters. He's someone who can go out there and just start fresh every inning. He's not someone who's typically looked at as a starter, especially going into the year, but due to some injuries and some things that happened in the fall, he's been someone that they've had to rely on in the rotation, and he's off to a good start so far this year.
0-2 pitch, he goes right back to it. 3 swings and 3 misses, and the first strikeout of the morning for Sam Myers. 2 on and 1 out. We mentioned that will bring up the catcher Martinez. Trey Martinez yesterday 0 for 4, but he did score a run. He drew a walk and came around. Struck out twice. Right-handed batter against the righty on the mound, Myers. Still have the corner infielders pulled in. Bumstead a few steps back now. A check of the runners, and the pitch goes fastball in the outside corner, strike 1. After 3 straight, would you say, change-up sliders working away, he goes fastball in the outer corner.
Absolutely, and it looks like that one was about a ball and a half off the plate. So Sam's being consistent with this spot and working that outside corner. And if he can start working just a little bit off more each time, he can open up the zone and make it really hard for these hitters to get a proper gauge on things.
No balls, a strike. Myers at the belt. That one works inside on a breaking ball and misses for ball 1. You mentioned the widening of the zone. I thought yesterday watching the game up here, it was a very wide but a very consistent zone that Bradley Hungerford had. He's the third base umpire today. I think that worked into the Matadors just not going after those pitches, but then having to see a lot of strikes and work late in the counts and then get the off speed and ground out.
Absolutely, it was tough for them to get a proper gauge on things, and it was especially tough for the hitters because Towson was setting up outside, missing inside, and getting those called strikes. They were setting up inside, missing outside, and still getting those called strikes. So they knew what they were trying to do, whether it was working them in or away. But due to the fact that them missing their spots here and there, it was tough for them to really get a proper understanding of what their strategy was on the mound.
The big slow breaking ball from Myers is taken for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and here comes the next pitch. checks the runner, goes fastball, and that one is popped foul behind the plate. We'll stay at 1-2. So we also saw the Matador debut yesterday of Jacob Sylvester, a right-handed pitcher, junior. Did you see from him that promising as he bridged those late innings?
You know, he was able to get a strikeout out of one of his late at-bats, and I thought that was huge for his confidence. He's not someone who's had a lot of experience this fall, and obviously in the first 2 games this year, that was his first appearance, but it was nice for him to get out there and get his feet wet and get an inning under his belt, and I think that'll bode well for him in the future.
1-2 pitch is in the dirt and blocked by Hubbard. They keep the runners at first and second, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I just mentioned Sylvester. Looking at this lineup for the Matadors roster, a lot of pitchers and a lot of kids that will come in for their spots, play matchups, and we should expect to see not just the same 3 and 4 every week, and obviously the starters, Vanderford, Myers, and Weston, the 3, but also guys, Matt Campbell, Joey DeSigli, names that we've heard about in the past that will return, and also a lot of newcomers, juniors, and some freshmen that should get some time. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Arona in center, shade a little bit towards right center as Myers steps off the mound. Rubber, I should say. Now resets and the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts swinging on that slider away. And trying to work himself out of an early jam here is Sam Myers. 2 on, 2 out, but they're still at first and second.
Outstanding pitch right there for Myers, coming back from behind in the count and getting that strikeout. He's someone who can use that fastball and use that off speed effectively on the outside corner. And when he's accurate like he is today, it's going to be tough for the hitters to put a plan together.
The trouble here for him, though, is that A.J. Gallo comes up. He went 3 for 4 yesterday. He's only the first left-handed hitter that Myers has faced outside of Richie Palacios, who grounded out into the shift. That one is lined and speared at second by Rubalcaba. He catches it on the fly, so he'll get the put out and the end of the inning. 2 on and 2 left. A hit and an error, and after it. And welcome back to Matador Field here in beautiful Northridge, California. It's sunny, it's clear, a few wisps of clouds in the sky, but about 60 degrees is the high for today, so it was a little chilly getting here for the early game. It should warm up and get some sunshine throughout the day. A big change from last weekend with the rain and the cold and the missed games and doubleheaders being scheduled and postponed and rescheduled, and this is much better, at least for me, just to be able to come out, do the game, get the work in, do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. This is what baseball in Southern California is all about. Days like today where we can come out, play 2 with no fear of rain or postponing or anything like that. And, you know, we're off to a great start here this morning.
Albie Weiss leads off for the Matadors in the home half of the second. He swings through a fastball on strike 1. Albie on the season, the young season so far, .214 hitter, 3 for 14, has driven in a couple runs and has scored 1 himself. He bats with the bases empty and takes pitch outside and low, ball 1. Albie, the designated hitter today in this first game. He's scheduled to catch game 2, according to Coach Moore. The 1-1 is breaking ball that stays outside for ball 2. We talk about Albie Weiss. Last year, he and Dylan Alexander platooned at catcher and designated hitter. And he's a guy that's going to have to assume that role now with Dylan out for the next few weeks. as he swings and grounds that one right up the middle, and the Matadors have their first hit of the day and a runner on with nobody out. We only talked briefly pregame with Coach Moore about Dylan Alexander. He hurt his ankle at Pepperdine, and you heard him talk about the expected rehab time, 2 to 4 weeks. It's a big loss when you're in the early going. You're playing Vanderbilt next week, and you got to get through this series against Towson first. UCLA's coming to town. Teams that steal a lot of bases, and Dylan is so good at catching runners. He was by far the best on the team last year in the early part of this year, getting runners out at second base, third base, and calling a good game behind the plate. What do these catchers behind him, Albie, Clayton, Jake, need to do to assume that leadership role as the first pitch to Nick Sablock hits the corner for strike one?
Those are some big shoes to fill with Dylan out 2 to 4 weeks, as you alluded to with the ankle injury. But I think Albie, Clayton, guys like Ryan McCarty, John Sanaspago, they can step up and fill a need. But as you said, Dylan was probably the best catcher in the Big West last year, outstanding at throwing runners out, and I think most of all, aside from what he does behind the plate, they're going to miss his leadership. But the beauty of it is that he's still in the dugout. He's still that guy in the locker room that they can count on and come to bounce ideas off of him and everything like that. But it's going to be some big shoes to fill. There's no doubt about that.
The 1-1 pitch now is swung on and popped up down the left field line. It's drifting and foul. 1-2. I do want to apologize. I said Jake. I was talking about Sanaspago John, but in my mind I was picturing Jake Sperlin. It's like, no, he's not a catcher. So we got the 1-2 count on the right fielder. This is Nick Sablock, a 182 hitter this season, 2 for 11, 1 run batted in. Albie Weiss, a short lead off of first, not a base stealer for the Matadors, but they are holding him on. Breaking pitch misses outside, counts even at 2-2.
Kevin, I wanted to get your thoughts on this offense, looking back to last year and comparing that to this year. I know they lost Yusuke Akitoshi and Brandon Berry, both of whom are playing professionally, one with the Marlins and one in Japan. But those were 2 of their top 3 offensive guys, and Coach Moore he told me yesterday that he thinks they're better in terms of production at all 9. I mean, losing Brandon Berry at first was huge, Yusuke at short was huge, but he thinks they're more physical at every position. How do you think that they're going to fare this year with filling a couple of those holes that they lost?
Well, you do look at that. You got the return of Albie Weiss, Dylan Alexander behind the plate. Fred Smith moves from second to short. The only question I have there, the question mark, is him assuming that role defensively at shortstop. The Matadors have historically put out great shortstops in this league and have been around the top of the league as Sablock grounds that one back up the middle, and the Matadors have 2 on and nobody out. Continuing that thought, Brian, my only question for Fred, I know Fred's going to get his hits. He's going to work into that role, but a couple of errors early in the season at shortstop and just getting his feet under him there. Nolan Bumstead at third is great. He's back and bigger and stronger. And then looking at the outfield, if Arona can fill in for Turner and still produce as he's doing without getting those 4 or 5 at-bats every single day, I do feel, looking at this team, that this is a much better-looking baseball team, offensively and defensively, bigger, stronger, more athletic. Those guys, Brandon, Yusuke, will be missed, but I don't think that there's a lack of depth behind them that has been brought in. I feel that the team should and will outperform what they've done the last 2 years.
Absolutely, I 100% agree.
Jason Newman swings at the first pitch here, pops it up into foul territory. First baseman Colin Gimlet under it in front of the first base dugout and puts it away. 1 pitch and 1 out here. That is going to bring up the third baseman Nolan Bumstead, the aforementioned Nolan Bumstead. He is from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Canadian national team, collegiate national team, or high school national team, I don't know, one of the national teams for Canada Nolan played for before coming to the Matadors, and still get a lot of shout outs from them on Twitter. He bats with 2 on and 1 out here, the bottom of the second. The same situation that Towson had in the top half. First pitch is taken for a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike.
Kevin, go back to those defensive points about Fred Smith and Eli Arona. It's hard to make mistakes at this level and get away with them. You can't be giving away errors and freebies and allowing guys to get on base when they should be out. So it's a recipe for disaster. But Eli's going to get a lot of opportunities in center, especially with Turner asked to pitch, and Bumstead wears one off the shoulder for a hit by pitch, and bases are now loaded with one out.
Bases full of Matadors, and Alvaro Rubalcaba will come up. He is the second baseman, hitting .308, 4 for 13, looking for his first runs batted in of the season. What have you seen from him so far? He's new to the team, inserted into the lineup, and the everyday second baseman so far.
I mean, yesterday he had a great game, put together his first multi-hit effort as a Matador. Great defensively, had a little miscue there with Fred on a ground ball yesterday that cost the Matadors a run, but he's someone who can go out there and he's going to play his butt off. He's going to lay his life on the line, and he's not afraid to get dirty out there at second.
Corner infielders are in for Towson, as Kevin Ross on the mound, working from the stretch, took a step off and wiped some dirt from the belt. First pitch fastball is right over the heart of the plate, right around the knees actually, in strike one.
Alvaro's a great guy to have at the bottom of the lineup too. He almost seconds as another leadoff hitter for the Matadors down there. Someone that can make contact, get a rally going, and someone who's going to give you a quality at bat.
Here's the 0-1. That fastball stays upstairs and is taken for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Alvaro's been the number 9 hitter throughout the early part of the season in 4 games, but he's batting 8th today with Clayton Hubbard behind him. We'll get the first batting look at Hubbard. He's appeared in 1 game but has not been up to the plate yet. He's on deck if this inning keeps going. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. The pitch, that one misses outside. A good stop behind the plate there by catcher Trey Martinez, and the count is 2-1.
Going back to Alvaro on the year offensively, 4 for 13, hitting .308, but those are the only 4 times that he's been on base this year. I think that he's going to need to get on base more in terms of seeing the ball more and generating a few walks, a couple hit by pitches, but I think he's going to need to do a little bit more aside from just hitting to benefit the bottom of this lineup moving forward.
The 2-1 pitch now from Ross. Fastball swung on, fouled back off the screen, and the count's even at 2-2. Right-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. Matadors all righties in the lineup, save for the switch-hitting Fred Smith and the lefty Nick Sablock. At least in this first game, we'll see how they line up in the afternoon. The long look in from Ross. Gets his sign, and the 2-2 swung on and fouled back, same spot in the netting. And we'll do it again. Ross is working from that third base side of the rubber on the mound, trying to get a little bit more of an edge against Rubalcaba, the right-handed batter.
Alvaro's doing a great job of what Coach Moore calls a wear down at bat. If you're not going to be able to get on, you know, the least we can do is wear down the pitcher and put together a quality at bat where we're forcing him to throw a lot of pitches.
Curveball is swung on and grounded foul down the third base line. Still 2-2.
Going back to that point, even outs can be productive outs. Even if you're not getting on base, you're doing a job. You're forcing him to throw more pitches. You're forcing him to show a little bit more of his hand. What are his tendencies? What does he like to do late in the count? What's his go-to pitch? So these wear down at bats are crucial as the game moves on.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming up next. And here it is from Ross. Fastball is low and gets away from the catcher, but not far enough to warrant Albie running home from third. And the count is full at 3-2. Tried to back pick it there, did Trey Martinez behind the plate, and it seemed to skip off the edge of his glove, and I don't know if Albie got a good enough read on it, but I still don't think it went so far enough away where it would have been a sure thing at the plate.
I think that's something that the Matadors are going to need to do today, is take advantage of pass balls when they can. Runs were at a premium yesterday, so I think any chance that they can get today to steal a run is going to be huge.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch swung on and fouled off the right side.
Outstanding at bat right here from Alvaro.
Now we're talking about 8 pitches now going into 9. The longest at bat that I've remember seeing this year from anybody.
And all of his foul balls have been to the first base side away, so I mean that's showing a good approach by him, is that he's not going to be fooled. Even if he does get an off speed, he'll be able to take that to the left side and still take that fastball down the right field line if he needs to.
Well, the first baseman is in on the cut of the grass. See 3-2. Swung on and grounded to the shortstop. Flips to second and over to first is wide of the bag, so the run will score on the error. No RBI, or actually yes RBI, because you can't assume the double play. 2 runs will score. Weiss from third, Sablock all the way in from second, and the Matadors lead 2-0 here in the second inning with 2 outs, and that will bring up Clayton Hubbard.
Kevin, you put the ball in play, good things will happen right there. It looked like a tailor-made double play to get the Towson out of the inning, and a bad throw leads to 2 runs, and that's something that the Matadors needed right there.
So Rubalcaba up to second on that errant throw, wide of first, and a chance with a runner in scoring position for Hubbard.
Big spot right here for Hubbard to come in, making his first start on the year and getting an opportunity to add 2 more runs to the score right here.
Alvaro will be credited with 1 RBI on the play, as that ball is grounded to the third base bag and thrown over. Makes the catch this time, and that will be the end of the inning. So a couple of runs for the Matadors. And welcome back to Matador Field. We head to the top of the third inning. Matadors lead Towson 2-0, 2 runs, 2 hits, and the benefit of an error. 1 RBI for Alvaro Rubalcaba in that bottom of the second. And leading things off in the third for the Tigers is the number 9 hitter, third baseman Richard Miller, who made a nice play at the end of the second to keep it a 2-0 game. He grounds the first pitch to Smith at short, throw over to Newman, and 1 away. Now back to the top of the order in Colin Dyer. Brian, what did you see there at the bottom of the first? That ability to put some hits together, get runners on base, and finally break through. Yes, the error, and you get a lucky bounce, I guess, or the benefit of the other team making a mistake. And how big is that to get the first runs on the board?
Oh, it's huge, especially after yesterday where they were struggling to get runs, and to come out in the bottom of the second and be able to put up 2, regardless of if they were worthy of an error or not. Just to be able to put those 2 runs up and get some early insurance for Sam is huge.
First pitch to Dyer is a strike, and it's 0-1. Sam just the 1 hit allowed through 2 innings so far, worked out of trouble in the top half of the second. Ball 1 is upstairs, ball 1. Working a little slower here out of the windup, and the 1-1 pitch showing bunt and pulling back. Taking for called strike 2 is Dyer. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Billy Lennox. First time up for Dyer, he flew out to right field to open the game.
Sam continues to pound that outside corner and really is opening up that zone with his precision.
At 1-2, missing the zone, and it counts back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Myers into the windup, breaking ball just underneath the elbow of Dyer, and the count is run full. Trying to hit that inside corner, and Dyer was up on the plate, maybe looking to get hit by the pitch, and snuck underneath him.
He almost looked like he tried to lean into it a little bit there, and we know with the rule changes in the Big West this year is that you have to make a conscious effort to get out of the way as Sam drops in a beautiful breaking ball for a called third strike for 2 outs.
That will bring up the second baseman, Billy Lennox. His first time up, grounded out to third base, so he still looks for his first hit of the year for the first 5. Right-handed hitter against Myers. Nobody on and 2 away here in the top of the 3rd. First pitch fastball misses outside, ball 1. We're here in game 1 of a scheduled doubleheader between the Matadors and Towson Tigers. Game 2, 30 minutes after the first. As that fastball misses low and away, ball 2. And Lennox ahead 2-0. We also have the series finale tomorrow at noon. It was originally forecast for rain earlier this week to come in Sunday. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, so we're still planning on a 12 o'clock start tomorrow. 2-0 fastball misses the inner corner, and Lennox ahead 3-0 with the shortstop Richie Palacios on deck.
Sam's the kind of pitcher who likes to work ahead, so when he falls behind 2-0, 3-0, it sort of takes him out of his element and off his game plan where he has to really come with a fastball. But when he falls behind 2-0, 3-0, it limits his opportunities with the off speed and everything, so it becomes a little more predictable on the Towson side.
3 balls and a strike after that one catches the plate. The 3-1 is swung on and fouled to the left side. Counts back full at 3-2. I was surprised by that 3-0 pitch from Myers. He went fastball, but it looked like it was very close to being off the plate for ball 4. Most of the time you see 3-0 and they'll just pump one in. Guy's taken all the way. He's still trying to hit his spots on the outer part and really establish the boundaries of the zone. The full count swung on and grounded to the right side. Fielded by Newman, underhand of Myers covering, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Matadors in the top of the 3rd. We go to the home half of the 3rd. CSUN 2, Towson nothing. You're listening to CSUN. And welcome back to Matador Field. We've got CSUN baseball against Towson. The Matadors leading 2-0 as we go to the home half of the 3rd. And a look at the Matadors due up this inning. It'll be the top of the order. Elias Arona, Fred Smith, and Kevin Riley combined over 3 thus far. On base for the first time today after striking out swinging in his first attempt.
Kevin, going back to that top of the 3rd, I love what I'm seeing out of Sam today. He's doing a great job of establishing his fastball on the outside corner and really getting Towson to reach for a couple balls and come off their approach.
First pitch here from Ross to Arona in this at-bat is a fastball. Looked low and away, but called for strike 1.
Towson right-hander Kevin Ross is noticing that the umpire's zone is expanding a little bit on the outer half, too, so he's starting to take advantage of that as well.
The 0-1 fastball, that one's a little bit closer to the plate and is called for strike 2 at the knees. Again, Arona, Smith, and Riley here in the bottom of the 3rd. Matadors ahead 2-0 after a couple of runs in the 2nd. The benefit of a double play ball gone awry. The 0-2 pitch is taken for a ball, 1-2. Update from the Matadors softball team. CSUN taking on Sacramento State as Arona fouls that one off the right side. Matadors are at the Libby Matson Invitational up at Pacific. In their first game of the day today, they're leading Sacramento State 2-1 in the top of the 3rd. The Matadors will also take on the Pacific Tigers right after that game around 12:15 today. As the 1-2 pitch swung on and grounded foul just off the edge of the bat.
Matador's doing a great job of fighting up there in the batter's box and forcing Ross to throw a lot of pitches today. I mean, those things are going to add up come the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, and they're hoping to knock him out of the game a little bit earlier than that.
Ross in the windup, the 1-2 upstairs. The count's even at 2-2. You mentioned that, trying to wear him down. He's at 42 pitches now after that one through 2+. Had that long at-bat with Rubalcaba that led to the 2 runs for the Matadors when the double play ball was thrown away. Swung on and flied to center. Center fielder A.J. Gallo under it in right center for out number 1.
Now batting shortstop, Fred Smith.
Fred Smith, the batter now, grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. Chopped it hard up the middle, and Ross was able to make the play and underhand it to first. Batting from the left side against the right-handed pitcher. Smith, as we mentioned, led the team with 75 hits last year. Tries to drop a bunt down the third base side. Ross off the mound covering, throws it over to first in time for out number 2.
Great idea there by Smith to lay the bunt down, but just the execution wasn't there. Wish he would have got it down the third base line a little more and made it easy for the pitcher to get out number 2 here.
Kevin Riley batting now with nobody on and 2 out. We saw a lot from Towson yesterday. Chopped ground balls to third base, stayed fair on the line. That had been 4 or 5 of their hits. Didn't leave the infield on the third base side. Maybe Smith trying to play into that with the still wet a little bit grass on that third base line. As the first pitch to Kevin Riley's taken outside for a ball.
Absolutely, Kevin. It was just one of those games yesterday for the Matadors where hits like that were falling in groups, and just seemed like CSUN couldn't catch a break there. But you know, Fred trying to play his part and start something off with a bunt single.
1-0 pitch is fouled off the right side towards the street, and count is now a ball and a strike. One pitch from Ross, swung on and fly to right center field. Giving chase is the right fielder Colin Dyer. That one is going to get down and up against the wall as Riley cruises into second. His 3rd double of the season, his first hit in about a week. The Matadors have a runner in scoring position with 2 gone for Albie Weiss.
Riley displaying his power right there, driving one to the wall, the opposite field, and setting up a man in scoring position right here for Albie.
See if Weiss can repeat what he did his first time around in the 2nd inning. Led off the inning with a single up the middle. One here would likely bring in another run for the Matadors. Ross working from the stretch. First pitch fastball low in the dirt, and a good stop by Martinez. And it's ball 1.
Towson playing Weiss straight up here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually move to a little bit of a left side shift for Albie, who seems to love to pull balls to the left side here.
Count is 1-0. Riley starting and stopping at second base. A breaking ball misses outside for ball 2.
Ross seems to be pitching around Albie a little bit here to start off the at-bat 2-0 with the open base at first. No reason to come into his strengths and give up another run here, but looks like he's trying to do a little bit of what I call the intentional walk.
You mentioned he does have first base open, and looking, Nick Sablock is on deck. He also singled, and he's a left-handed hitter, so you got the power of Weiss to deal with, or you've got a guy who's already gotten a hit against you, as that one's taken outside for ball 3. A chance for Sablock to come up with 2 men on instead of just the 1. Just take your chances. (3-0) count to Weiss. Checks the runner, and Albie swings 3-0 and pops it up to center field. Gallo under it. Long time coming down, but he makes the play for out number 3. So the Matadors get a hit, leave a runner on in the 3rd after 3 complete. It's the Matadors 2 and the tie. This doubleheader between the Matadors and the Towson Tigers. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Tigers here in the top of the 4th. Richie Palacios to lead things off. He grounded out to second base his first time. As you work into the second and third time into the order, Brian, what is Sam looking to do out there to not only show them a different look, but still be effective?
Kevin, I don't think it's so much about showing a different look. Sam's always going to stay true to his game, but after seeing these guys yesterday and getting a little bit of a scouting report on them over the last week or two, you kind of do see their tendencies and what they like to do. It looks like Sam's working Palacio a little bit away right here. Matadors are playing the shift to the right side, so they know he does have some pull power, but as he drops down the drag right there and beats the shift, just as we were talking about earlier.
Well, that's what you got to do when they're playing you that overshift and all of third base is open. As the pitch is bunted to the third base side, and a runner on first, nobody out, is going to bring up the designated hitter, Logan Burke.
And Palacio's not the guy you want on first base. He led the team in stolen bases last year. I believe he had over 30. So I do expect a little bit of movement here, especially with Towson trailing 2-0, so we'll see what happens.
Runner at first, nobody out. Burke, his first time up, singled, and was eventually left at second base. First pitch, breaking ball missing away, ball 1.
Kevin, go back to Albie's at bat in the bottom of the third there. 3-0 green light. Saw a pitch he liked and took a hack at it, but when you're swinging 3-0, you need to make sure it's a pitch that you can drive, and it looked like he just didn't get all that one and sort of lifted a lazy fly ball to center. He probably wishes he had that swing back, but I like the aggressive approach, and that's something that the Matador staff is willing to let their players do, is swing away 3-0 if they see a pitch that they like.
Well, you got the 2-0 lead. There's 2 outs in the inning, and Albie trying to jump start, and he's a power hitter. He's an important piece of the lineup for the Matadors. So if he gets that pitch, you got to, at least in the early part, get him going as the breaking ball on 1-0 hits the outside corner, counts even at a ball and a strike. After Burke, on deck is the first baseman, Colin Gimblett. He reached on an E6 by Smith back in the second inning. Myers steps off and will gather himself. He's looking in for the sign from Hubbard.
Going back to that point about Albie and his power and the fact that he needs to swing away there, they're missing Alexander. Riley Conlin's out of the lineup today, and so is Justin Turner, so they're going to need guys like Albie to step up, and if they can get the green light on 3-0, see a pitch that they like and drive it, they're going to go ahead and take that chance.
1-1 grounded back to the mound to Myers, makes the play, only play at first. Runner moves up to second, and there is 1 away. It's a good job athletically by Myers. It was a short chopped ball. Probably would have fallen in front of Smith charging in from shortstop and may or may not have had a play. But Myers quick off the mound and was able to spear it, set himself and get the throw to first. So Gimblett comes up with a runner on second and 1 down.
And fielding their own position, Kevin, is something that Coach Moore really stresses to his staff, is fielders fielding position, and just staying true to ground balls back to the mound and making sure that they set their feet and go on. And
man in scoring position, 1 away, fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Myers and Rubalcaba paying a little more attention to Palacios now that he's at second base, with the threat to third, and as we mentioned, Alexander not behind the plate for the Matadors, and really Albie hasn't been tested yet this year. We know Towson likes to steal. And Myers turns and looks at the runner but does not throw.
And that's something the Matadors pitching staff likes to do, is mix up their looks, their noodle moves to second, just keeping the runners on their toes and making it hard for them to not only pick signs, but to establish a rhythm out there on the base paths.
0-1 as Myers works from the belt. Breaking ball misses low and away, ball 1. No runs on 2 hits and 1 error for the Tigers. 2, 3, and 1 across for the Matadors through the first 3+ in this game at Matador Field. Another check of the runner and a breaking ball grounded to third. And in between, Hop gets to Bumstead. He throws across to Newman. for out number 2. A favorable hop there. It hits something in the grass and pops straight up into his chest. As sometimes you see it hits a rock and squirts between your legs when you're expecting it to come up.
Now batting left fielder Quinn Mullins.
Couldn't ask for more right there from Myers. Not only just getting a ground ball, but getting one to the left side and preventing Palacio from moving to third and advancing on that ground ball. So getting another out now with 2 outs and prohibiting him from moving to third and getting 90 feet from scoring a run for them.
So runner remains at second with 2 gone, and the batter now Quinn Mullins. Mullins, his first time up, struck out swinging on 3 good pitches from Myers and takes the first one here for strike 1. Mullins, we mentioned, came into this game 1 for 4 after yesterday getting a double and scoring a run. No balls, a strike. 2 gone in the top of the 4th as Myers steps off and looks for a new sign. Now he's back, and the pitch, another off-speed low and away, is taken for a ball. That's the pitch that he got Mullins to swing through 3 times his first time up. Came with something different in the first pitch of this at-bat, got a called strike, and then try to get him to chase again. Now a little faster on the fastball, swung on and missed for strike 2. With Palacios at second, we'd seen Sam slow the game down, take his time between pitches, shake off some signs, step off, look back the runner. But there he was quick, fastball, 5 to 10 seconds, right back into it.
Absolutely. It's all about tempo on the mound, not only for him and the catcher and just keeping that rapport, but for disrupting the timing on the bases and really making it difficult for them to establish a rhythm.
1-2. There he goes with the hammer and swung on and missed for strike 3 to end the inning. So the Tigers get a runner to second on a hit and nothing more. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. It's by Jason Newman and Nolan Bumstead. Those guys went combined 1 for 3 in the second inning. Sablock singled, came around to score on the errant throw by the second baseman Billy Lennox, trying to complete the double play.
Kevin, going back to our pregame comments about how we were curious to see how Sam and Clayton would work together behind the plate, and it looks like they've been working extremely well together. There haven't been any cross-ups, any pass balls. I think Clayton's done a good job of managing the game back there.
He has, and something that we should watch for the rest of the year as Sablock takes a fastball high and outside from Ross for ball 1. Anytime you get a new pitcher-catcher combo, even if the guy's been around the team for years, but he hasn't really worked with that particular pitcher, it's always something to keep an eye on. Is check swing foul by Sablock, and it's 1-1. But yeah, through 4 innings so far, just a couple of hits back in the second inning. And Myers has been able to really work around trouble. 1-1 grounded to the right side. Fielded over there by the first baseman, Colin Gimblett. Tosses. Is Ross covering? and one away.
Now batting for the Doors, first baseman Jason Newman.
Jason Newman comes up now. He came up to bat in the second inning with 2 runners on and nobody out, swung at the first pitch and popped it up in foul ground to the first baseman. We'll see what he does here with nobody on.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Played first base sporadically last year for the Matadors. A few different guys over there behind Brandon Berry.
He's a bat the coaching staff loves. He's a guy who has similar power, almost like Albie Weiss, but playing behind Kevin Riley and sometimes Albie at first, his playing time's been pretty limited so far, but coaching staff loves it they see from Jason.
Took a first pitch for a strike and looks at the second one low and away for a ball. It's 1-1. 1 out and nobody on here. Another look at the softball diamond. Northridge leading Sacramento State 3-1, top of the 4th there. Their first game of the day in Stockton as Newman swings through a pitch. It's 1-2. Also coming up later today on CSUN Sports Network, just before 4 p.m., Alan Zinsmeister will have the call of the CSUN women's basketball team taking on UC Riverside from the Matadome. The Matadors won in their last 8 consecutive conference games and go for number 9 tonight as the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Newman for strike 3.
Both Ross and Myers are doing an excellent job of using their off-speed on that outer half of the plate. They've seen with their fastball that they can establish that outside corner, and they've established the zone a little bit off the plate, maybe about a half inch to an inch off the plate. So when they start using that off-speed on the outer third, it really opens up the zone for these hitters because they think it's going to be a strike, and by the time they start swinging, that ball's in the dirt or, you know, another foot outside. So great job by Ross right there getting the strikeout.
So nobody on and 2 away for Nolan Bumstead. Bumstead, his first time through, was hit by a pitch, and that loaded the bases, setting up Rubalcaba for an RBI, and he takes the first pitch high and inside. We mentioned Allen on the call for women's basketball at 4, and then later tonight, 7:30, the men's basketball team is down in Irvine, and Ghazal Hassan will have the call all by himself, so tune in for his wacky antics at 7:30, 7:15 time on the air as Bumstead grounds over to third for out number 3, a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. 4 complete here at new catcher into the game. Brian, who can you tell us that would be?
It looks like we've got number 29, junior catcher John Sanaspago, making his first appearance this year.
So Sanaspago will take over for Clayton Hubbard in the number 9 spot. He was not waved in by the umpires, but we're able to catch him.
Sanaspago, a junior transfer from Cypress College, hometown of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Big Eagles fan here.
First pitch from Myers was taken for a ball. The second one is fly down the right field line, drifting foul down in the corner by the catcher Trey Martinez. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
John was dealing with a little bit of a labrum issue throughout the fall. So it's nice to see him bounce back and get some playing time here, especially with Dylan out of the lineup. They're going to need guys like John, Clayton, and Ryan McCarty to step up and fill some pretty big shoes.
1 ball, 1 strike for Myers. We'll see how Myers now works with John behind the plate as he worked the first 4 innings. It was a scheduled rotation day for the catchers in this first game. He takes a curveball for strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The rapport between a pitcher and a catcher is very interesting. I mean, if you think of it a lot like football and the chemistry that a quarterback has with his wide receivers, if they don't have those reps together and their timing and their tendencies down, it could be a little bit of a learning curve. So, but he's a veteran, he's a senior. I think he's going to do a great job of working with these guys and keeping them in check.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Martinez after that one missed the plate. Myers back into the windup quickly, swung on and grounded foul over towards the first base dugout. Sam, looking at his pitching count, is at 58 now. Can't tell if there's any action down in the pen. Shouldn't warrant any in this first game until he hits around that 80-90 pitch count or starts to get into trouble with runners and runs. Myers looking into the sign from San Espago. 2-2, curveball upstairs, ball 3. And the count is full with nobody gone.
Yeah, Kevin, both bullpens look to be a little quiet right now. Ross's pitch count is creeping up there, but he's been pretty effective, giving up only 3 hits so far.
Goes fastball, and Martinez swings and lifts it to right field. Under it is Sablock straight away for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up A.J. Gallo, who still an early sample size, but he's only hitting 600 through the first game plus.
Not a bad average to have there, Kevin, but it seems like that's going to be hard to sustain itself throughout the year.
It's one of those, he came in hitting 750, and you look at it like, wow, we're in the 5th game, but no, Towson's just played the 1 game yesterday. They're into their 2nd game of the season now. It was a little bit odd, and we'll talk about that in a moment, as Myers winds in the first pitch to Gallo as a fastball up and away for ball 1. A lot of times we see teams from the East Coast will come out and play a lot of games on the road to start the season, but they play at the start of the same playing season with the Matadors. It was last week taking on Portland, as Gallo flies that one to right, falling down, and it gets past him, the right fielder, Nick Sablock, all the way to the wall, and moving up to second, almost to third, is Gallo. We'll have to see a minute how that's going to go.
Kevin, I made the transition from infield to outfield as I ended my career at Citrus Community College in Cal Poly Pomona. Judging a line drive from the outfield is one of the hardest reads in baseball. You're always taught to make your first step to go backwards, get a proper read, but you know, as that ball starts to dive and get some topspin off the bat, you have to slowly readjust yourself and come in, and it looks like he lost his foot in there, and it cost him a couple bases.
So it will go as a double. He fell down, and that's not necessarily an error. It bounced and went past him. It's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate for Myers that would be on the hook against him, but it's within the rules. It's kind of how the game goes. Batter now is Richard Miller. The third baseman looks at a breaking pitch for a called strike, 0-1.
That at bat is sort of staying with the theme of how the game has gone for the Matadors. A couple slow dribblers, bunt singles that ate up the Matadors yesterday, and now this one to Sablock. It's unfortunate, but it's part of the game, so you're going to need to be able to bounce back, and Sam's great at making pitches, so. Sam checks the runner, delivers to home, misses with the fastball away. Count sits at 1-1 with 1 out. Home plate umpire Michael Blinchy looks like he's not giving that outside corner when lefties are in the box as much as he is for righties, so Sam might need to alter his strategy here and come together with another plan of attack. Comes with the fastball inside, misses there, 2-1. Fred Smith shading a little towards second, playing with the runner there at second, keeping him close to the bag. 2-1 the count with 1 out. Sam delivers home. Line drive to right field, base hit. Sablock comes up throwing. Cut off by Jason Newman. And the runner is now trying to come home, and he scores. The ball gets past John. Sam Myers backing up home, and the runner advances to second. So tack that in as a single with an RBI, and the runner advances to second on the air by Jason Newman. Towson Tigers now cut the deficit to 1, as it's 2-1 here in the top of the 5th.
Single E9. He singled Hitter goes single, E3. Because the second error put him on second.
Mark that down as a single with the error by first baseman Jason Newman.
Correct.
Coach Moore calls time and comes out for a quick mound visit to talk to Sam and the rest of the infielders as they convene on the pitcher mound.
So my apologies, Brian. I'm just trying to figure out the scoring of that play. Miller gets credit for a single to right field, advances to second on Newman's toss to the plate that missed the catcher and is an error. The runner, Gallo, advances to third on the single, scores on the throwing error by Sablock that missed Newman. So 2 errors on the play for the Matadors. The run right now is unearned, but that could obviously change depending on how the rest of the inning goes. You would replay the inning and say that there should be runners at first and third with 1 away.
I'd love to see what the scorebook looks like after that one, Kevin.
It's going to be insane.
So the missed play by Sablock and right comes back to haunt the Matadors as the Towson Tigers cut the deficit to 1.
So no RBI on the play there for Miller. The run for Gallo is currently unearned. First pitch now to Dyer is a strike. Runner on second, 1 out, a 2-1 score now. The score line reads 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 error for Towson, 2, 3, and 3 for the Matadors.
Back to the top of the order here for Towson with Dyer up.
Fastball misses just outside for ball 1. That was a pitch I was close to where Sam was getting it in the first 2 innings and held there a little bit longer by Santiago trying to get the call.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough break there for Sam, but he's going to keep pounding that away.
Ball and a strike and a runner at second. Bumstead drawn in a little bit at third, not quite on the grass. 1-1 pitch swung on, fouled off the right side, and it's 1-2. Just about an hour, 10 minutes into this game here, and nearing the halfway mark in the next few outs of the scheduled 9 from Matador Field. First of a doubleheader here between the Matadors and Tigers. We've mentioned game 2 would start a half an hour after the conclusion of the first game. Swung on and fouled off a high fastball as Dyer, and we stay at 1-2 as Sam Myers gets to pitch number 70 in the scorebook. Now some action down in the CSUN bullpen down the left field line. Try to get a read on that when we can. Myers looks into Santiago. Comes set at the belt, the 1-2. A little bit low and tapped out in front of the plate, fielded by Myers. Throws over to first for out number 2. I thought it was a check swing and hit off the dirt and off of the catcher back in front of the plate, but it really tapped off the end of the bat right back to Myers, and an easy 1-3 put out. Miller has to stay at second, and Billy Lennox, the second baseman, will come up to bat. He's 0 for 2 so far today, grounded out to third his first time up, and then over to first, and that was back in the 3rd inning, so now try number 3 today.
Chalk up another PFP there for Sam. Pitcher fielding position, doing a great job getting out in front, setting his feet, and making a strong throw to first there for out number 2.
Something I have to say about that, every time I come to practice, I don't know if it's because I come around the same time every day as the first pitch is fouled off, but there's always pitchers out on the mound fielding. Doesn't matter what time I get here, if it's before practice, there's always somebody bunting balls or hitting them back at the pitchers on the mound. That's one thing that for years of being around baseball, of CSUN baseball, that's something that's been drilled into these players.
Pitchers got to be athletes too, Kevin, and that's something that they practice religiously here from Coach Greg Moore, and it's showing that they put the practice in and they get the results that they want.
The 0-1 pitch grounded to Smith at short. He fires over to Newman covering first for out number 3. In the home half of the fifth, Alvaro Rubalcaba, as he will bat the 8-hitter, then number 9, Clayton Hubbard, and back to the top of the order with Eli Arona. First pitch to Rubalcaba is upstairs for ball 1. Alvaro, we mentioned, was in that series of play in the second inning that led to 2 CSUN runs. As the 1-0 pitch is upstairs for ball 2. Came up with the bases loaded and 1 out, grounded it to the shortstop. The flip to second was on time. The relay throw to first got away from the first baseman, so Rubalcaba reached on a fielder's choice, and runs scored on an error. 2 runs scored on an error as the 2-0 pitch misses for ball 3. He was credited with an RBI on the fielder's choice, but not the second run that came around. Matadors finished with those 2 runs in that inning and now lead 2-1. He takes all the way on the 3-0. It's 3 balls and a strike. Quick into the windup is Ross on the mound. Swung on and fouled off the right side. From Rubalcaba, the count is run full. Another deep at bat for Alvaro. He had, let's say it was 9 or 10 pitches his first time up, and now he's looking at number 6.
Absolutely, Kevin. Doubling as a leadoff hitter down here in the 8-hole, doing a great job of seeing pitches now on to number 6 in the at-bat, and takes a ball to right, line drive to right fielder, but it's going to be an out for out number 1.
That will bring up for the first time John Santispago. We'll look for his numbers on the season.
Now batting for CSUN, catcher number 29, John Santos.
John will be making his first appearance in the batter's box for the Matadors. One of a handful that are looking for really his first appearance at all. He came in as a defensive change last half inning. The right-handed hitter for CSUN gets his first try now. First pitch up above the head. Ducks under it. Ball 1. John, what can you tell us about John, I should say, Brian? As the viewers and the listeners get the first opportunity to see him out there.
John's a grinder. He's one of the guys who spends a lot of the time in the bullpen working with our bullpen and our pitchers getting warmed up and everything. So he's got a good rapport with most of these guys. He catches them during their off days, during their bullpens, during pregame. So I think that's why he's done such a great job with Sam so far, is that they have that rapport, and he has a little bit of experience, but as you alluded to, this is his first at bat of the season. So, I'm excited to see him out there. He's earned it.
The 1-1 pitch is there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Nobody on here. Bottom of the 5th, a 2-1 CSUN lead. As Ross winds and deals a fastball, swung on, fly to right. That looks like it could get down in the corner. Santispago, fair ball around first, going up to second, and he will hold there as a strong throw comes in from the right fielder, Colin Dyer. Matadors have a runner in scoring position. Back to the top of the order for Eli Arona.
Big time at bat right there for John, making his first appearance of the year, taking a ball down the right field line for a double. That's exactly what this team needs right now.
Center fielder Elias Arona.
Especially when runs have been at a premium over the last few days. Not necessarily on Tuesday against Pepperdine, which that game, we still got to figure out the final details in a couple months. But at least the first few games against Portland, there were few and far between. Yesterday, just the 1 run, and then going into today to be able to get guys that haven't seen the time on the field yet coming through with a double. We talked about Arona yesterday, got a double down the left field line in the 5th inning, tied up, eventually scored and tied up the game for the Matadors. So those guys, the role players on this team, helping to jumpstart. What have you seen from them so far?
Absolutely. I think it's huge in baseball to have those guys that can come off the bench and contribute right away. I mean, we saw that from Clayton coming in and catch Sam. Now John coming in and getting a double down the right field line in his first at bat of the season. So I think that's huge for them to be able to have guys on the bench that can come in and produce immediately. I mean, that's what's going to need to happen.
So a pitching change here for Towson. It will be number 9 coming in, Matt Golchevsky, a senior left-handed pitcher. We are going to step aside. We'll be back for the continuation of this one. A runner on second and 1 out, and the top of the order for the Matadors due up. You're listening to CSUN Baseball on the Matadors Radio Network from Learfield.
CSUN Athletics would like to thank the Warner Center Marriott for their continued support. The newly re-energized Warner Center Marriott boasts nearly 500 rooms and a newly styled American restaurant. For room rates or reservations, call 818-887-4800. That's the Warner Center Marriott at 818-887-4800, supporting CSUN Matador Athletics.
Dedicated to preserving patients' knees, shoulders, and hips, Dr. Dominic Sisto and the LA Orthopedic Institute are proud partners of Matador Athletics. By avoiding full knee, shoulder, and hip surgery, LA Orthopedic is able to return each patient to a healthy, active lifestyle with faster rehabilitation and recovery. Dr. Dominic Sisto is the official orthopedic surgeon of CSUN Matador Athletics in 2015 and 16. For more information, visit laortho.org.
Well, Brian, we couldn't have timed that break perfectly, any more perfectly than it already was, as we're getting right back to action here in the bottom of the fifth. The left-handed pitcher is Matt Golchevsky for Towson, and he's making his first appearance of the season. He gets right-handed hitter Eli Orona in the top of the order for the Matadors. Eli today is 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging in the first and a fly out to center back in the third. He's got a runner in scoring position, and 1 out, swings at the first pitch. It was low and away for strike 1.
Going back to the fall, the Matadors haven't seen a lot of left-handed pitchers. Looking at their roster, they have Joey DeSigli, who just came back from injury, James Terrazas and Katir Prieto, who are still recovering from injury. And they also have Justin Turner, the starting center fielder, who's been slotted as a pitcher for them. But they haven't been getting the reps that they would have liked to against left-handed pitching, just because of how limited they are in terms of what they have on their team here.
Another strike to Orona, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second is John Santispago. A double to the right field corner in his first at-bat of the season. With Fred Smith up next, the Matadors can stay out of a unorthodox double play. The 0-2 swung on and fly to center field. A few steps back, and now under it is Gallo making the play for out number 2. So Orona's flied out to center field twice. That will bring up Fred Smith. Both times up has grounded back to the pitcher. But a new pitcher that he's facing today, and it will turn him around to the right side of the batter's box against the lefty Golchevsky.
With Towson bringing in the lefty here, that sort of plays to the strengths of what the Matadors have in their lineup today, with Smith being able to switch around to the right side, being a switch hitter, and Nick Sablock being the only lefty in the lineup. This should play to the strengths of the Matadors with a lineup full of right-handed hitters.
Time called at the plate, and we await the first pitch to Fred Smith. Smith, after the 0 for 2 so far, is down to 294 hitting, which is still not bad, but it's lower than what we saw from him last year. Still very, very, very early in the year as he takes the first pitch outside and low for ball 1. Look ahead at the Matador schedule after the series with Towson this weekend that concludes tomorrow. Got a Tuesday home game against UCLA before the Doors ship across to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt this weekend. The 1-0 to Smith is lined to the right side, and that's going to get through to the right fielder. Santispago chugging around third, coming to the plate. Play at the plate is not in time. Smith moving up to second on the throw, and he is safe. A single and an RBI for Fred Smith as the Matadors take a 3-1 lead here in the home half of the fifth.
Great job on the bases right there. John Santispago wheeling around third. Doesn't have the best speed on the team, but he makes it safely by a good portion. And Smith reading that throw, that it's going through the cutoff and going straight to home, being able to read that and take another 90-foot chunk right there and setting them up with another running and scoring position is huge.
So Kevin Riley will be the batter now as he looks for his second hit. He doubled his last time up to right center field. It went off the wall. It's also grounded out to third. Grounds it to third base. That's going to be a single off the third baseman. Pops up straight in the air. An infield hit for Riley. He's got his second hit of the day, and Albie Weiss will bat with runners on the corners and 2 away.
Now batting
The Matadors stringing together
Albie
some quality
Weiss.
at bats here, starting off with John's double off the bench. Fred Smith coming up with a big single, and then Kevin Riley hitting one right on the numbers of the third base. Too hot to handle, and the Matadors have runners on first and third here with 2 outs.
Weiss 1 for 2 today with a run scored. He'll try to bring one in here. Doors lead 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Against Towson, 3 runs on 6 hits. They've also committed 3 errors. A soft throw over to first by Golchevsky, and Riley's back standing up.
Great opportunity right here for Albie to really open this game up. No room to put him. They're going to need to come to him with some fastballs, and he's going to need to take advantage of some of these pitches. So I'm eager to see what he does here in this at-bat.
First pitch swinging, grounds it, hits off the glove of Golchevsky, turns around. Palacios at short to throw to first. Not in time. An infield single off the pitcher's glove for Albie Weiss, and an RBI as Smith scampers home from third. And the inning will keep going with Nick Sablock.
Hard 95 right there from Weiss to keep this inning going, busting it down the first base line and being able to beat out that ground ball is huge. Gets another run on the board for the Matadors as they lead 4-1 here in the bottom of the 5th.
So now 2 for 3 is Albie with a run scored and 1 driven in. And Sablock will get a chance for his second hit. He's also 1 for 2 coming into this at-bat. Scored a run. And then also grounded out to first. First pitch is low and away. Gets away from the catcher, and the runners will move up on the wild pitch. A breaking ball was in the dirt and bounced over him. 1-0.
This is a great look for Nick right here to be able to come up and go against a lefty. I know he hasn't been able to see as many lefties as he's liked throughout the fall, and he's verbalized that he hasn't really had enough practice against left-handed pitchers, but it's nice for him to be able to get out here and see some reps from a left-handed pitcher from another team.
1-0 pitch. It's a fastball below the knees. Count is 2-0. 4-1 Matadors lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Their second 2-run inning of the day as they try to put up some more runs after yesterday's 1-run game and the 4-1 loss to the Tigers. The 2-0 hits the inside corner, called strike 1. Taking some time is Golchevsky on the mound, the left-handed pitcher looking in for the sign against the lefty Nick Sablock. On deck, Jason Newman should the inning continue as that one hits the inside corner for a called strike. It's 2-2.
Great pitch right there by Golchevsky coming inside and being able to paint the black with a fastball against a lefty. That shows some confidence, and the fact that he's not pitching around Sablock right here says a lot about what his plan is, and he's trying to come after him.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 2 runs in the inning for the Matadors, and that one misses low and away for a ball, and the count is full at 3-2. There's an open base at first. That would load the bases for Newman, who's looking for his first hit. Three-two. Breaking pitch swung on and grounded to second. Nice diving stop by Lennox.
Great
throw
throw
to first is in time for the final out of the inning, but it As a reliever this season for the Matadors, Brian, what can you tell us about him as a pitcher?
Kevin, I love watching Justin on the mound. He's a bit of an old school guy. He doesn't have a curveball, a slider, a cutter, anything like that. He's a simple fastball changeup guy, and Coach Moore told me the other day that he's thrown a couple changeups that he thought were some of the best that he's ever seen in his baseball career. And I alluded to it earlier, just the lack of lefty pitching that the Matadors have this year, especially with some of their guys injured. And being able to have Justin, in that bullpen and being able to bring him in late in games is huge. And we saw a little bit of it at Pepperdine. Got brought in the middle of a bat for one pitch, dropped a changeup in there, and got a strikeout. So he's effective, and I love watching him pitch.
He will face the lefty Richie Palacios to lead things off in the top of the sixth. First pitch, ball one. Second is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. So Turner, the first lefty for the Matadors today. The 1-1 breaking pitch misses outside. It's 2-1. Ball three, 3 balls, 1 strike. Now to Palacios. That one is in there on the corner for called strike 2.
I talked to Coach Moore earlier in the Woods League in the summer, and we'll see how you did when we get back. It's a load to take on, and Justin was able to take that load on very successfully as he gets Pelosi to strike out there for out number 1. But Coach Moore said Turner's changeup is unbelievable. His words were that he has a chance to be a pro pitcher, and that's high regards from a guy who's dealt with a lot of good pitchers over the years. And he's got some things you can't teach. One of them being that changeup, 2 being that two-way guy who can play center and come in and eat up some innings for you. So he's a talent that Coach Moore likes, and someone that I think the Matadors are going to rely on heavily this year on the mound.
Logan Burke, now the hitter for the Tigers, takes a first pitch fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. So the strikeout for Justin Turner officially is his 3rd of the season. He came into pitch against Pepperdine as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Came into pitch against Pepperdine on Tuesday. Those stats will not be official until the Matadors and Waves finish that midweek game, which will be replayed, or resumed, I should say, on April 4th here at Matador Field. The scheduled Tuesday game. They'll play the 8th inning and the 9th inning and any extra innings, and then they will play the next game of the series. As Burke flies that one to left, it gets down up against the wall. Riley fielding it, throwing it in towards Smith, his cutoff man, but a 1-out double for Burke, and the Tigers have a runner in scoring position. Continuing on with that thought against the Waves, Matadors were down big early against Pepperdine. I believe they gave up 6 runs in the bottom of the first. Fought all the way back and currently lead 12-7 at the end of 7 innings. Rather than complete the game there, the coaches agreed to resume the game on April 4th here at Matador Field. So they'll play the first 2 innings, or the final 2 innings of that game until completion, and then play the scheduled 3 o'clock game between CSUN and Pepperdine afterwards. A lot to figure out who's eligible for that first game, who's not, who had already played, who came out of the game. Whole big mess. Anyway, we'll be here for 1+ games on the 4th. Turner now facing Gimblett. First pitch on the inside corner for a strike.
That's going to be a tough game, the one against Pepperdine, for the Matadors to resume play. I mean, they came back after that large deficit in the first, as you alluded to, and they really strung together some quality at bats, and were able to put together a lot of runs there. So for them to put that game on hold and sort of have to pick that up another day, that's tough on them because they definitely had momentum on their side.
The 0-1 pitch to Gimblett is swung on and missed for strike 2. Gimblett today is 0 for 2, reached on an error by Smith back in the 2nd, and then grounded out to Bumstead at 3rd in the 4th inning. He's got a runner at 2nd and 1 out, a 4-1 CSUN lead here in the top of the 6th. As Turner works from the stretch, the 0-2 fastball misses the outer half. And it's 1-2. Healthy dose of fastballs from Turner, as you mentioned, Brian. Not a big mix of pitches, but he does hit his spots and he does work quickly with that velocity, a change from what Myers was showing, and hopefully bridging the gap here in the middle innings to get to the later men out of the bullpen. Fastball high and inside, the count's even at 2-2.
Kevin, when you think about what a pitcher's job is, essentially, it's to disrupt the timing of the hitter. You know, whether that be with a fastball, a changeup, a curveball. For Justin, it's just a fastball changeup combo, and it's really effective. You know, as I said earlier, Coach Moore thinks it's one of the best pitches that he's ever seen. So there's no real reason to fix what's not broken. So sticking with the changeup and the fastball here has been very good for him.
Turner steps off the mound and looks back, the runner at second. Should mention the DH Burke now with that double is 2 for 3 in his first game of the season. The 2-2 from Turner, off speed, swung on and popped up on the right side. Giving chase is Jason Newman, right fielder coming over Sablock, but Newman will call him off and make the play, throw it back in to keep the runner at second, and there are 2 gone. A little tough play to make for Jason Newman there with the first baseman's glove working over his shoulder rather than being called off by Sablock, who was charging and maybe in a better position to make that play, but good athleticism to run down the line and make that catch before the bullpen.
Absolutely. Newman moving well for a guy who's 6'3", 230. He got to that ball fairly quick and beat Sablock and Rubalcaba to that ball, so made a nice little over-the-shoulder Willie May-style catch and gets the ball in before the runner could tag to third.
We'll bring up Quinn Mullins, first pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. Mullins today 0 for 2, struck out swinging both times up against Myers. Should mention closing the book on Myers, 5 complete innings, 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 run, it was unearned, and 4 strikeouts. So he is the pitcher of record thus far for the Matadors.
And that gives Myers 10 innings on the year with only 1 run. So between him and Drew, they've gone just under 24 innings total and allowed only 2 runs between them. So off to a great start for both of them.
The 0-1 pitch will have to wait as time is given to Mullins. As Turner was about to deliver, he threw the pitch anyway, but it will not count. Still no balls and a strike.
And Kevin, much like we talked about earlier with them losing a couple key guys offensively, they also lost a couple guys on the mound too, and Kenny and Angel. So they're going to need some guys to step up, and you know, Sam and Drew have done that so far this year.
0-1 pitch misses inside with the breaking ball, 1-1. You mentioned Kenny and Angel, and you look at Drew Weston, who really worked his way into a starting role late in the season. So in terms of starting pitchers, you also had Connor O'Neill, who was the closer last year and has been the closer starting games because there was nobody to start those games at the end of the season. So really trying to rebuild that staff as the 1-1 pitch is grounded to first. A good pick by Newman to end the inning. And the Tigers leave a runner on second after Burke's double. After 5.5, it's CSUN 4 and Towson 1. You're listening to the Matadors baseball on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
In-N-Out Genuine Radio presents What Real Tastes Like.
The classic double-double.
2 pieces of meat, cheese, fresh tomatoes, and lettuce. It's perfect. I don't know what they put in it, but it must be pieces of heaven.
The juiciest, tastiest burger you will ever have.
I love it so much.
Just deliciousness.
The ultimate burger.
Genuine people, genuine food, genuine passion. It's what's made In-N-Out, In-N-Out since 1948.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
And we're back on CSUN Sports Network. From Learfield, Kevin Strauss with Brian Stoffer. A reminder that we are here with you for the first game of today's doubleheader. Game 2 will feature just live stats coverage available on GoMatadors.com. It will be at the same link if you follow it along for Game 1 as Game 2. We're just going to refresh the page. So you would go into GoMatadors.com, the baseball schedule, click on live stats for Game 2 to follow us along. We're here through the rest of this one through Game 1 with you on CSUN Sports Network, as Jason Newman will lead things off here in the bottom half of the 6th. Takes the first pitch low and away from Golchevsky, and it is 1-0.
And Golchevsky's back out there for his second inning of work. Had a bit of a tough time there in the first one. Faced 5 batters, gave up 3 hits and an earned run, so he's looking to bounce back here for the Tigers.
1-0 pitch misses outside and low again. It's 2 balls and no strikes. A reminder of the broadcast schedule coming up later this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Alan Zinsmeister has CSUN women's basketball as they look for their 9th straight victory. They go against UC Riverside at 4 p.m. as the 2-0 pitch is low and away for ball 3. Alan will be on the air at around 3:45. It's Kids Day and Read with the Matadors Day, so if you're listening to us and have a time to get down to the Matadome for that game at 4, we'll have a lot of activities in store for the kids as a 4-pitch walk is drawn by Jason Newman, and that will bring up Nolan Bumstead. Then later tonight, 7:30, a 7:15 start time on the broadcast for Ghazal Hassan with the CSUN men's basketball team as they go against UC Irvine. That's down in Orange County at Brent Event Center. It will also be shown on ESPN3. We highly encourage you to tune into CSUN Sports Network and listen to Ghazal with the call for that one. Brian, we have a check of the softball update. Matadors leading Sacramento State 3-2 as they go into the bottom of the 6th there. Sacramento State is the home team at that tournament against Pacific. Bumstead drops down a bunt. Golchevsky has a tough time fielding it and will not make the play. It will go in as a bunt single as Newman moves up to second.
Put the ball in play, Kevin, and good things will happen. Just a simple job right there of doing a sac bunt by Bumstead. Pitcher has a tough time fielding it. You end up with first and second, nobody out.
Well, he's not the slowest runner either, Bumstead. He was able to motor down the line and would have been a tough play to make even if it had been picked up on the first try. First and second, nobody out. Alvaro Rubalcaba comes up. Officially is over 2, reached on the fielder's choice in the second. Flew out to right field in the 5th. He drops down a bunt to the third base side. Golchevsky fields it, throws it over to third, and gets the play for the force out as Newman was beaten by a half step. So another fielder's choice on the bunt for Alvaro and 1 away.
Love the call right there, getting Alvaro to bunt to move the guys over to second and third. Unfortunately, with the lefty on the mound, bunting it down the third base line, and if you're not square down the line, if it's bunted a little bit more towards the mound for a left-handed pitcher, it's an easier play for him to make compared to a right-handed pitcher. So they were able to get out number 1 there at third base.
John Sanasuago will come up to bat for his second at-bat of the day. He took over for Clayton Hubbard in the early part of this game. He doubled and scored a run in the 5th inning. In his first at-bat of the season, he gets another chance here. Runners at first and second and 1 away against a lefty pitcher for Towson. That one misses high for a ball 1. Trying to get a read of the Matadors bullpen down there. So I feel that Turner's day may be over soon. 1 ball and no strikes as Golchevsky looks back to Bumstead at second, swung on by Sanasuago and lifted towards the left side. Palacios ranging over down the left field line, and the shortstop will make the catch for out number 2.
Great range by Palacio right there. It's always a tough play going out with the left fielder or an outfielder in general coming in. Shortstop can typically take a better angle to the ball, which is why he's the preferred guy on that play. And he showed good range and athleticism right there to get out number 2.
That's going to bring up the top of the order, and Eli Arona. Eli looking for his first hit of the day. His last 2 trips to the plate resulted in flyouts to Gallo in center. He also struck out swinging to open the home half of the first. As Golchevsky trying to work himself out of trouble. First pitch is a fastball low for ball 1. It was runners at first and second for the Matadors before the attempted bunt by Rubalcaba resulted in the force out at third, and then the fly ball by Sanasuago caught by Palacios. 1 ball, no strikes here to Arona. 4-1, Doors lead on the Tigers, bottom of the 6th in game 1 of this doubleheader. The wind in the pitch, and that's grounded down the third baseline by Arona. Bumstead roaming around third, and he will score easily. Rubalcaba up to third standing, and a double for Eli Arona. That's how he hit his double yesterday. This time it results in a run right away for the Matadors. It's 5-1.
Great time right there for Arona to pick up his first hit of the day and add another insurance run for the Matadors as they take a 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
And Fred Smith will get the opportunity to bat now. He's 1 for 3. Had an RBI single his last time up. A single here would bring in 2 more. They are going to intentionally pass Fred Smith to face Kevin Riley. Riley has a double already today. We mentioned last week had 2 doubles and a home run against the Pilots of Portland. And he'll bat with the bases loaded. There's a pitcher getting loose for Towson down the line, and they may make that change to have the righty-righty matchup against Riley, as that's ball 3, and we'll wait for 1 more for the intentional pass to load the bases.
We talked about it earlier in the game, Kevin, about how Riley was struggling a little bit with the bat, hitting 176, 3 for 17 coming into this game, but now he's 2 for 3 with a chance to really open this game up with the bases loaded right here.
He's also doubled. We mentioned he had the single in the 5th. He doubled back in the 3rd, and he will get a chance to make some noise and break this game wide open for the Matadors. It's currently 5-1, and the bases are loaded with 2 out here in the bottom half of the 6th. First pitch swinging fouled straight back for strike 1.
Right on that fastball, fouling it straight back. That shows that all your mechanics, you're on time and everything. So good approach right there by Kevin, being aggressive in that first pitch, knowing he's got to come to him.
Golchevsky stays in to face Riley. No balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. The 0-1 takes something off, fouls that down the left field line. Was a little out in front of that breaking pitch. Hit it on top of the batting cages down the left field line. It's 0-2. Runners on base for the Matadors. Rubalcaba at 3rd, Arona at 2nd, and Smith at 1st.
I would expect this to be Golchevsky's last inning of work, as it looks like Towson's got a righty up in the pen.
You got to think it'd be his last batter if Riley were to do anything but get out. The 0-2. Fastball is taken low. Try to get him to chase. It's ball 1.
Looks like the wind's blowing in fairly well from right field, so any fly ball could stay up and be a routine out. So looking to stay level, line drive, something on the ground right here to bring in a couple runs.
Golchevsky set at the belt. The lefty looks in for his sign, and the 1-2. Fastball swung on in line right back up the middle. That's going to get down. Here comes 1 run. Coming around 3rd is Arona towards the plate. The throw is cut off. He's in standing. A 2-run single for Kevin Riley. And the Doors are up 7-1 now with 2 outs, and Albie Weiss coming to the plate.
And there it was, Kevin. Can't ask for a better swing than that. Working right up the middle, shows everything's on time. Mechanics are on point. Really having a great game now, 3 for 4.
3 for 4 and a couple of RBIs. And Weiss will bat with 2 on and 2 out. Albie himself is 2 for 3 with a run batted in and 1 scored.
Looks like Golchevsky's going to stay out there and face Weiss for this at bat also.
Albie swings at the first pitch, pops it up behind the plate. The catcher, Martinez, gives chase, but it falls into the crowd, and a nice play by a Towson fan.
An excellent play with the bare hand catch right there, Kevin.
It was a great play. No balls, a strike, and 2 out. And the runners are going on the 0-1.
And no one
No
covers
chance
second. Yeah,
to get them.
Looked like the catcher was thinking of going to second there rather than 3rd, and no one was there to cover, so.
Will be a double steal for Smith and Riley. Matadors at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs and a 1-1 count now on Weiss.
I love the aggressiveness right here, even up 7-1, you know, not taking anything for granted. Towson could easily come back and, you know, put up a couple runs here in the top of the 7th and make this a game, so keep the foot on the pedal and stay true to your game plan.
It's the 1-1 is there for strike 2 on the foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners in scoring position for Albie Weiss. A single would plate 2 more for the Matadors. They've already gotten 3 across in this inning, 5 in the last 2. 7-1 lead. And the 1-2 pitch that is in the dirt rolls away from Martinez, but he keeps it in front of him. Counts even at 2-2. Seven runs now on 10 hits for CSUN. They look to even this series in the first game of the doubleheader. Slow breaking ball swung on and hammered to left center field. Chasing it back is the left fielder reaching up at the wall. He makes a basket catch right up against the wall. Quinn Mullins for the final out of the inning. Right in front of that 360 sign. Albie hit at 359. 3 runs across for the Matadors in the 6th after 6 complete. Doors lead 7-1. You're listening to CSUN Baseball on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
Planning a group event can be an enormous undertaking. Whether it's a work meeting, sporting event, or a family reunion, simplify your event planning with HotelPlanner.com. We're #1 in group travel. We'll work with you and the hotels to get you the finest hotel, best prices, and group booking policies available. Provider in group planning, our professional team members will plan your event at no charge and offer the lowest group rates guaranteed. Visit us at HotelPlanner.com. #1 in group travel.
And welcome back, Matador baseball fans. We head to the top of the 7th and a new catcher to tell you about as the Matadors continue that platoon behind the plate. It's number 11, Ryan McCarty, a freshman. What can you tell us about him, Brian?
Don't have much on McCarty, just another guy like Sanaspago who's been a key guy in the bullpen, working with our pitchers pregame during the week and especially during the fall. Like you said, a freshman coming out of Santa Ynez, California, Santa Ynez High School, 6 foot, 185, and looks like the inning will start off right here with the first pitch home run for Towson.
Yep, that was Trey Martinez. His first hit of the season was crushed over the left field wall. Got a fastball from Justin Turner, and that will make it 7-2.
Now batting,
Center fielder A.J. Gallo will come up. Shane, can you help us on this? First pitch now from Turner. Misses for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike 2. Or 1, sorry, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's one of the cons right there with Turner being a fastball changeup only guy. If you're up there sitting fastball and you get a fastball, you know, there's a good chance you can put some barrel on it. But if you're up there mixing up 3, 4, 5 different pitches even, it's a lot harder as a hitter to really get a proper gauge on what's going to be heading your way. But if you can limit it to a 50-50 split of fastball change, it dramatically increases your odds of being a successful hitter.
The 1-2 pitch is foul down the right field line by Gallo. And we stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Turner, the lefty, on the mound for the Matadors against the left-handed hitting A.J. Gallo. Here's the 1-2, slow breaking pitch. What was that changeup there? Swung on and missed for strike 3, and Gallo will be set down.
Turner's so fun to watch on the mound. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of experience there, but it almost looks effortless. He almost just looks like a natural pitcher, like that's what he was born to do. But, you know, watching him pitch, you would never guess that he's one of the best defensive, if not offensive, center fielder in the country. So for him to come in and be a dual threat guy and be able to give you innings on the mound is huge.
He gets the first pitch here to Miller. This is the third baseman, Richard Miller, swinging and missing for strike one. So a run across so far in the inning for Towson on the big fly. And the 0-1 pitch misses for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch called for strike 2 from Turner. Looking ahead, Brian, to the 8th and 9th potentially for the Matadors in the bullpen, who would you think would be first up for the Matadors today after seeing Connor O'Neill yesterday? As that one is grounded, a tough play for Rubalcaba. We'll have to see how that one is going to go.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw right-handed pitcher freshman Blake Shriver or Ricky Rivera.
Be an E4 there on Rubalcaba. It took a tough hop, but also rolled up his glove, had time to make a play, and couldn't find it. So the 4th error of the day on the Matadors puts Miller at first with 1 away for the top of the order and Colin Dyer.
With Tay Vanderford scheduled to start Game 2 and possibly Matt Campbell or Drake Alley on Tuesday, I wouldn't be surprised to see Blake Shriver or Ricky Rivera come in and get some work here in the 8th or the 9th.
First pitch to Dyer is taken on the outside corner for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. 7-2 CSUN lead here, top of the 7th. Nearing stretch time, and a runner on first for Towson with 1 away. Foul tip at the plate with the runner going. And it'll be 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and out. As Matadors look to even this series and get above 500, at least for the moment, going into the afternoon game. Currently 2-2 on the season. The 0-2 misses low and in with the fastball, ball 1. Turner at 30 pitches out of the bullpen. We've only seen him for 1 inning at a time in the early part of the season as he develops that stamina of a pitcher. Do you see his role with this team being more of that long relief, potentially starting, or a Tuesday game, or is he more of that spot by spot?
See, I think the beauty of Justin is that I think he could be the spot starter. He could be a Tuesday guy, a doubleheader, second game guy, especially with the emergence of Eli Arona, not just what he can do defensively, but the fact that he could swing the bat, came in hitting, 429. So I think just with how well Eli's playing in center field, I think that makes the coaching staff a lot more confident in their decision to put Justin on the mound, not just for 1 inning, but for multiple innings at a time, knowing that they have Eli out there who can hold down center field very well.
And as that 1-2 pitch is fouled off, Turner will work again against Dyer. Collins so far today is 0 for 3. He's looking for his first hit of the morning as we turn into afternoon in the next few minutes. Turner from the stretch looks back the runner at first. The 1-2 fastball is high and inside. It's dropped by the catcher McCarty. Throw down to second on the wild pitch. Not in time. And the runner will move up on the wild pitch as the count goes to 2-2.
Excellent recovery right there from freshman catcher Ryan McCarty, making a close play at second. It looked like he should have beat it by a mile, but McCarty was quick to get the ball, and a great release almost had him nailed down there.
Well, it looked like the third base umpire Hungerford was looking for the ball to see if he held on to it. As the runner slid around the bag, maybe he was looking for the hand touch or what, but usually when you see an umpire peering for a second before making the call, he's checking to see if the ball was there in time, but ruled that he was safe. It's a close play, bang at second anyway, as the 2-2 hammer is dropped for strike 3, and Dyer unfortunately having a tough day here in the first game, 0 for 4, second strikeout looking as Billy Lennox comes to the plate. He's looking for his first hit of the season. Lennox 0 for 3 today, was 0 for 4 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch, so he's been on base so far this year, but looking to pick up the man at second for the Tigers. Out there is still Miller.
Turner dropped in a beautiful changeup right there to Colin Dyer. Sort of buckled his knees and couldn't swing the bat, but just sort of flutters up there, and it's coming almost, but it's, as a hitter, it's hard to pull the trigger on that, especially when he's mixing in a mid to upper 80s fastball with that.
We had another one right there, the first pitch here to Lennox that stayed on the outside half, but seems to have some drop to it too. It's not really a slider or a curveball, it just fades out and falls down as it gets to the plate. The 0-1 pitch from Turner as he goes back in the windup with the runner on second. That one misses low, a ball, 1-1. Not necessarily a full windup, but he's got the higher leg kick rather than working from a straight stretch position.
And his changeup is a little different than the traditional one that's moving down in a way. Like you said, it's almost got a drop to it. It's almost like a slower sinker ball, and as a hitter, it's hard to pick that up because for about 50, 55 feet, it looks like a fastball, and in those last 5 feet, it really drops off, and not just in velocity, but just in its direction towards the plate.
The 1-1 pitch misses low. He tried to go fastball, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. We've got on the schedule today a 1:30 p.m. start time for Game 2, but I want to advise you that we'll be back half an hour after the end of the first game for the start of the second game, and again, we'll have live stats for you on that one as the 2-1 is fouled back for strike 2. I want to thank everybody with CSUN Sports Network today for adding this game to the schedule and allowing us to bring it to you, the first of this 2-game set against the Matadors and Tigers. This crew from CSUN Sports Network will be transitioning into the Matadome for the women's basketball game this afternoon. A long day for the event staff, the crew here for the Matadors, but we get it done as the 2-2 is high for ball 3. Full count, 2 outs, runner on second.
The one thing you need to really worry about when you're throwing a changeup is to not leave it up. That's the one pitch that you cannot afford to leave above the belt. When it's not being thrown with that velocity, that mid to uppers 80s velocity, and it's in that sort of up to mid 70s, it's a lot easier to square up. So leaving the changeup up could be a recipe for disaster.
3-2 fastball misses on the inside corner. Try to lock him up, but it's taken for ball 4. Runners at first and second for the Tigers as Richie Palacios comes in now. He is currently 1 for 3 today, making him 1 for 7 on the season, a 143 average, and the shortstop lefty-lefty matchup now for Turner. Now you can't really put the shift on because you've got the runners at first and second, and the reason he has the one hit is because he bunted down the third base side with the shift on. The first pitch from Turner is a breaking ball off speed, missing outside for a ball. But you still have Rubalcaba at second base playing where he would if he were in the shift, back on the outfield grass, more shaded over towards first than he had been, and hoping that Palacios doesn't just rip it up the middle.
Based on this alignment, it's almost like wherever the ball goes, no matter what fielder fields it, it looks like they're going to be going 1, unless there's a line drive right at Fred Smith who can take it to second himself. But just the way the defense is positioned right now, it looks like they're just playing to go to first base straight up, regardless of where the ball is hit.
1-0 pitch. Turner goes back to that off speed and gets it for a strike. 1-1. Justin looks back the runners at second and first. The 1-1 pitch is low and inside for ball 2. A right-handed pitcher is starting to warm up for the Matadors down in the bullpen.
It looks like it's Blake Schreiber, number 31, freshman out of Yorba Linda, California, and Esperanza High School.
We've got 2 balls and a strike from Turner. That fastball hits the outer corner. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Tigers. A 7-2 CSUN lead here in the top of the 7th. As Matadors try to keep this 5-run lead intact going to stretch time. 1 run already across in the inning, a leadoff home run for Towson. The 2-2 fastball is fouled off the left side. That will be out of play. We'll do it again.
Towson's still showing some life here in the top of the 7th. Chance for Palacios to chip away at the lead a little bit right here and cut the deficit to 4 or even 3.
As we mentioned, the leadoff home run for Martinez. Then long at bats with the strikeout looking by Dyer, strikeout swinging by Gallo. So had a runner reach on an error, and then the walk to Lennox as that one is flipped to Smith on the line. He's able to jump and make the catch for the final out of the inning, but a run comes across on the home run by Martinez. We go to the stretch. It is currently CSUN 7, Towson 2. You're listening to Matadors Baseball on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
And welcome back to Matador Field, CSUN Sports Network from Learfield. We've got CSUN baseball against Towson, the second game of this 4-game series. Game 1 of today's doubleheader. It's Matador 7, Tigers 2. A new pitcher on the mound for Towson. It's number 44, a right-handed freshman making his first collegiate appearance. It's Bo Plaguey. He's listed on the roster as an outfielder, also getting the duty on the mound for Towson. He will face Nick Sablock, Jason Newman, and Nolan Bumstead due up for CSUN in the bottom of the 7th. A home run by the Tigers in the top half got them within 5. Matador is looking to extend the lead and get to the back end of the bullpen to close the door here. Last warm-up pitch for Plaguey, and Sablock will come in to the box. Sablock 1 for 3 with a run scored already today. Matadors have been putting it together, Ryan. As we talked yesterday, it was just tough to get anything going offensively. Here they've put together 5 runs over the last 2 innings and try to keep that momentum. How big is that for the team mentally to shake off the cobwebs from yesterday, especially in an early game, and set the tone for the rest of the weekend?
It's huge mentally, but I mean in baseball it's important to be able to have a short memory and be able to flush games like that. You're able to come out here at 10 a.m., less than 12 hours after finishing the previous game and come out here and play again. But like you said, they're playing well across the board. They really flipped the script from yesterday's performance. 4 errors for them, that's one thing that they really need to bear down and improve moving forward. But from a pitching and hitting standpoint, it's been near flawless, and the scoreboard shows that.
Sablock takes the first pitch for a ball. The next one is a fastball fouled off the left side for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 7th. Plaguey works and fires. That one is fouled off the left side again for a 1-2. Not really into a windup position, the reliever. It's more of a side step towards the plate.
And Sablock, the only lefty in the lineup today for the Matadors, with left fielder Riley Conlin getting the day off.
Here's the 1-2 breaking ball again off the left side of the field. And we're staying at a ball and 2 strikes. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Sablock. Nick came into today's game batting just 182 and trying to raise those points. He has with the hit today. 1-2 breaking pitch stays up. The count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sablock has a great eye. Throughout the fall, he was one of the top 2 or 3 guys on the team. He led them in quality at bats. He's someone who's going to get up there, and he's not going to waste any at bat at all. He's going to go up there and see pitches. He's going to force walks. He's going to put solid contact together, and right there he goes down swinging for out number 1. But Sablock is a guy that the coaching staff is happy to have in the lineup. And moving forward, there's someone that they think can put together some good at bats in the future.
So Jason Newman will get the chance to get his first hit of the season. He's still on that offer. He's made some good plays out defensively and was also able to get on base, if I recall correctly.
Correct, Kevin. He did have a walk, yes.
He looks at the first pitch, and it hits the outside corner from Plaguey for strike 1. After him is Nolan Bumstead. middle of the order for the Matadors here in the 7th. Nolan 1 for 2 so far with a run scored. That breaking ball drops low out of the zone. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Looking at the Matadors' offensive numbers, looks like every offensive starter save for Rubalcaba and Newman have gotten a hit today. That fastball on 1-1 stays up for ball 2. Clayton Hubbard did not get a hit, but he exited the game and sent Espago, his replacement, double down the right field line. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. And that one stays upstairs for ball 3, and that's the second pitch in this at-bat that I've seen Pleggy's hat come off. Need a bigger size there?
Looks like he's trying to put a little extra on the fastball there, Kevin.
Got to do something. 3-1 the count to Jason Newman. Fastball high for ball 4, so Jason now on for the second time today, and Bumstead will come up to bat.
Now batting, third baseman Nolan Bumstead.
There's something about these non-conference games against teams that you don't normally face that I really love. You're just going out there and playing baseball. There's not too much scouting information. You know, you don't really know what the other teams really got. They're from Maryland, 3,000 miles across the country, so there's not too much the Matadors have on them. So it really gives them a chance to just go out there and play their game, play to their strengths, and stay true to their game plan and just have fun with it.
These are two teams with decades and decades of baseball history in the Division II and now to the Division I eras, and they've never faced each other in the history until yesterday. First pitch fastball comes inside and hits Nolan Bumstead. He'll go down to first base, Newman up to second, and Alvaro Rubalcaba will come up to bat.
Now batting second baseman Alvaro Rubalcaba.
Coach Gottlieb for Towson comes out to talk to the home plate umpire Michael Blinchy about that, thinking that Nolan didn't make an attempt to get out of the way and maybe even turned into it.
And that's the rule now, Kev, is, you've got to make a blatant effort to get out of the way. But, fastball up and in, I don't see how much time there is to really get out of the way on that. So if you're Bumstead, I think he did the right thing and just wear it off the shoulder.
Yeah, he definitely turned. I don't think he leaned over the plate to catch it. Maybe that's the vantage point where he did turn his shoulder. So you got to ask the question, if you're Coach Gottlieb, of, did he stick his arm out? Or, what he saw versus what the umpire saw. And up here, he definitely turned his shoulder, but like you said, a fastball high and in, that's really all that you can do.
Absolutely.
So 2 on and 1 away here. Bottom of the 7th for Rubalcaba. He's already gotten a run batted in, but looking for his first hit. He's also scored once. Showing bunt. First pitch is a fastball high for ball 1. Alvaro tried to lay down a bunt his last time around. Bunted it right back to the pitcher, who threw out a runner at third base. I believe that was Newman in this exact situation, but with 0 outs instead of 1. 1-0, showing bunt again. That fastball misses low and in. And it's ball 2.
I like the call, Kevin. Even up 5, having Alvaro get up there and show bunt. Just staying true to their game plan, really.
You look at the next guy in the order, potentially having 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away, and it would be the first at bat for Ryan McCarty, showing bunt and taking off speed for a strike is Rubalcaba.
Fun fact about Ryan McCarty, he is the best barbecuer on the team. Brought some fantastic tri-tip to our Thanksgiving team festivities. That was a big hit with our guys, so.
Well, now you got to bring me some. Like, you can't drop that out there and then not have it with you.
It's something that could definitely compete with Rosie's Barbecue, one of our beloved sponsors.
The 2-1 pitch upstairs for ball 3. Well, I won't make him, I'll ask him politely to bring me some. And, he'll do it for Ross. If Ross is here, like, hey, Ross wants some barbecue, also bring a little bit extra. And then we'll just have like a taste test. It'll be great. Ground ball by Rubalcaba to short. Flip to second, over to first. This time they complete the double play to end the inning. And the Matadors will leave a runner on base as we finish 7 complete here at Matador Field. CSUN 7 and Towson 2. You're listening to CSUN Baseball on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
CSUN Athletics would like to thank the Warner Center Marriott for their continued support. The newly re-energized Warner Center Marriott boasts nearly 500 rooms and a newly styled American restaurant. For room rates or reservations, call 818-887-4800. That's the Warner Center Marriott at 818-887-4800, supporting CSUN Matador Athletics.
Welcome back to Matador Field. 7-2 CSUN going to the 8th. New pitcher for the Matadors to tell you about, number 31, a freshman right-hander, Blake Shriver. I believe this is his collegiate debut. Brian, what can you tell us about him?
Blake making his collegiate debut, true freshman out of Yorba Linda, California, someone that Coach Moore really likes. He's a low to mid-80s guy right now, works the changeup, great off-speed, someone that's going to be relied on out of the pen, especially in these situations when you're up 4 or 5. You need to bridge the gap between the starter and the closer. He's someone that Coach Moore, Coach Tuig, and Coach Chris Hom can count on to come out of the bullpen and give them some quality innings. So I'm excited to see him out there, and I know he's worked his butt off to make this debut with us today.
So he will face the designated hitter, Logan Burke, then Colin Gimblett, having a tough time today, and then the left fielder Quinn Mullins. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters meet of the order for the Tigers, looking to claw back into this one down 5. And I would venture to say that Shriver should finish this game off unless absolutely necessary to bring in somebody else with a 5-run lead. You used Connor O'Neill yesterday, your closer. You don't really want to bring him back, less than a day's rest to close out a game if you don't need to.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I believe Blake will finish the game right here for the Matadors, barring any type of outburst offensively for the Towson Tigers or injury, but Blake should be in there for the next 2 innings.
First pitch out of the windup from Shriver, and that is swung on and fouled off by Burke. Burke is 2 for 3, a single and a double. Also grounded back to the pitcher in the 4th. Right-handed hitter Logan Burke against the righty Blake Shriver. Matadors trying to get the last 6 outs of this game. Something that's been tough for this team to do in the early part of the season. The 0-1 is swung on and fouled behind the plate. Went over us at the press box for strike 2. Talk about last week. Matadors had, I want to say, a 3-run lead against Portland in the first game of a doubleheader. The Pilots were able to get those runs back, send it to extra innings, and then win in extras. And then early in the game against Pepperdine, things seemed to fall apart, but the Matadors were able to get back offensively and lead that one. And here, just being able to get the job done as Burke grounds it over to third, Bumstead throws to Newman, and the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Colin Gimblett, the first baseman, number 25. Gimblett 0 for 3 today, looking for his first hit.
Shriver, a freshman out of Esperanza High School, is listed at 162. I'd say he's closer to 170. He's put on some weight since he joined our program. Been one of the guys who's just been working hard in the weight room and eating right, and he's made some strides off the field, and we're really proud to see the way he's developed in such a short amount of time.
Gimblett first pitch swinging at a pitch well out of the zone and high for strike 1. What can you say about this team, Ryan? The pitching staff's given up 6 hits. The defense behind them has allowed 4 errors, but just 2 runs across that combined number. How big is it for this staff that is so young with so many newcomers? As Gimblett dinks one into center field, that will drop in for a single. His first hit of the day, his second on the season, and the Tigers have a runner on first with 1 away.
For these pitchers, it's huge to have good defense. I mean, you've got experience all across the board. You've got Bumstead at third, who has a lot of games under his belt. Fred Smith, the senior. Alvaro, a lot of experience at second, and whether it's Jason or Kevin Riley at first, you've got guys who can go out there and play some quality innings for you. So when Blake, guys like Ricky, guys with a little bit less experience get on the mound, they have that confidence that, you know, I'm not afraid to let these guys hit the ball because I do have a great defense behind me.
First pitch from Shriver to Quinn Mullins is in the dirt, and a good stop behind the plate by Ryan McCarty. Mullins 0 for 3 today. He did have a double yesterday, his one hit of the season. Also scored a run. 1-0 is the count, a runner on first and 1 out. Fastball misses outside for ball 2.
And that's one thing that's really important as a pitcher, Kevin, is understanding what kind of pitcher you are. Whether you're a strikeout guy, whether you're a guy that needs to pitch to contact like Blake. You know, not being afraid to let them hit the ball, knowing that you have guys behind you that can pick up a ground ball, pick up a double play, and make a great play in the outfield.
Here's now the 2-0 fastball, same spot, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. That's what you don't want to see early. I understand Shriver's first outing comes in with a 5-run lead. You know, 1-out single, potentially a walk after. All of a sudden he's in a jam, 2 runners on. Momentum shift a little bit. They start to put some pieces together, and then you're looking at 7-4, 5-6, and that one just hits the outside corner for a strike, 3-1.
I think this is a perfect scenario to give a guy like Blake some experience and get him out here for his first outing with the 5-run lead. You know, there's not too much pressure on him right now, but with the runner on first, you know, you've got to bear down right here. So you kind of do get a little bit of a glimpse into who he is as a pitcher right here with some pressure being applied to him.
Fastball swung on and hit to left field. That's going to be over the head of Kevin Riley, up against the base of the wall. Up to third on the play is Gimlet, and a 1-out double for Mullins, his second of the season.
Left the fastball a little bit over the heart of the plate there, and he stroked it to left off the outfield wall for a double.
He's been throwing a lot of fastballs, and here's a guy coming up to the plate, Trey Martinez, who smacked a fastball from Justin Turner over the left field wall into the big tree. And a spot right here where that would make this a 2-run game if he did it again. Shriver's going to need to pick his pitches here, and then have a conference on the mound with Nolan Bumstead, the third baseman, and the catcher, Ryan McCarty.
Smart move right there by McCarty, going out there and talking to Blake a little, calming the nerves, just probably letting him know that, you know, we've got a guy in Martinez right here who could put the bat on the ball and potentially make this a 2-run game with one swing of the bat. So great move right there by McCarty, going out and talking to Blake.
And we are starting to get a little bit of action down in the CSUN pen. Some pitchers milling around, nobody throwing quite yet. First pitch, breaking ball stays just above the letters for ball 1. Final score to tell you about from the softball diamond. CSUN a 4-2 victory over Sacramento State. Daphne Pofek advances to 2-2 on the season. The Matadors back in action against the Pacific Tigers in a true road game at that tournament this weekend. They'll face them just about 15 minutes. A 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed for a strike. It's now 1-1 to Trey Martinez.
That fastball right there from Shriver looked like it had a little cut to it at the end. Started out middle away, finished well off the plate, and got Martinez to swing through it right there for strike 1.
Shriver taking his time and getting the sign, and now time called by Martinez at the plate. Straight up defense in the outfield against the Towson catcher. Infield playing a little bit back in the middle part. Jason Newman is in over at first just in case. Looks like they trade a run for an out. The 1-1 swung on, and that one is hit down the left field line. That's going to get down, and 2 runs will score. No, just foul. I spoke a little bit too soon. I thought for sure that was into the corner, and third base umpire Bradley Hungerford right on top of it, and maybe an inch or so. I wouldn't say that was for sure foul. But anyway, 1-2.
One thing that's really crucial from a pitching perspective is that no matter how fast the game's going around you, whether the opposition strings together a couple hits in a row, is that you're in control. You control the tempo of this game, so getting up on the rubber and taking your time to make the pitch is huge, especially for a young guy like Blake who doesn't have the experience. Just keeping the game at his pace and not getting too caught up in what Towson's doing right now.
1-2 fouled off towards the Towson dugout, cued off the end of the bat, and we stay here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The runner at third base is Colin Gimblett. At second base is Quinn Mullins. Trey Martinez, the batter, looking to get the Tigers back into this game. It's 7-2 at the moment, but a swing away from being 7-4, even 5. As Shriver gets his sign from McCarty behind the dish.
Arguably the biggest at bat for the game for Towson so far.
And the throw. That one is swung on and grounded down the third baseline. Bumstead there looks back the runner to second, throws to first for the second out. Gimblett will score from third, making it 7-3. But a good play there by the Matador defense to get the out, keep the runner at second instead of advancing to third. And head coach Greg Moore is going to come out and have a chat with Shriver. He's not made a motion to the bullpen yet, as A.J. Gallo is introduced into the game. Well, he's already in the game, but in the batter's box for Towson. Credit an RBI for Martinez, his second of the day. And it's 7-3. Just waiting to see if Coach Moore makes the move to the pen.
Gallo 4 for 7 in his first 2 games of the year, so if you're Towson, this is someone you want in the box right now to give you a good chance to get you within 2 runs.
Just a little chat from Coach Moore with the infield. He heads back to the dugout and we'll get back to action. They're buying a little time. I believe that's Nickel down in the bullpen for the Matadors, the freshman. We saw him last week against Portland. But A.J. Gallo, the center fielder, left-handed hitter, has a runner in scoring position at second base with 2 gone, a 7-3 CSUN lead, as the Tigers have 1 across here in the top of the 8th. Throwing to second and getting the runner almost was Fred Smith, trying to back pick him, and was off by maybe a foot or so.
Great move right there from Shriver going to second base. Looked like Fred Smith was a little late getting to the bag, something that sort of plagued the Matadors yesterday, getting late to the bag at second base on a ground ball to Fred Smith when Rubalcaba was a little late getting there and ended up costing them a run. But great move right there by Blake.
Still waiting the first pitch to Gallo. Struck out swinging his last time up in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Fastball below the knees for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Both teams have left 7 runners on base. The Matadors the only ones grounding into a double play so far. As that pitch gets away on the wild pitch, the runner Mullins will move up to third on ball 2. Looked like McCarty was looking for something else. Went towards his left on the outer half. That one came back in. And he just wasn't able to backhand it. So now the run is 90 feet away instead of at second base. Still scoring position either way. And Mullins, the outfielder, would have the speed from second base to score on a ball to the outfield anyway.
Moments like this are where the rapport between the catcher and the pitcher is so important. Late in the game, up by 4, you know, a pass ball or a wild pitch could lead to a run and cut the deficit to 3. So when you've got a guy out there catching a pitcher who he doesn't normally catch, it can be a little bit of a struggle on both ends. But McCarty needs to rebound right here.
2-0 swung on and hammered to right field. That one is going back to the wall, looking up his Sablock, and it is gone. A 2-run home run here for A.J. Gallo will make this a 7-5 lead for the Matadors with 2 away here in the 8th. And that might necessitate a call to the bullpen. We'll see. For the moment being, the next batter coming up to the dish is the third baseman Richard Miller, and here comes head coach Greg Moore. So we're going to step aside and bring you some commercials, and we'll be back in just a few moments with the continuation of this one. CSUN 7, Towson 5, 2 outs in the top of the 8th, nobody on. We'll be right back. You're listening to CSUN Baseball on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
The Sundial is more than just a great print newspaper. The Student Newsroom is your connection to CSUN every day, online, on the app, or on social media. Send us a snap, ask a question on Twitter, tag us on Instagram, and read the latest news, sports, and event guides right from your phone. We love to hear from you. Take a picture and tag the Sundial from the game or anytime.
In-N-Out Genuine Radio presents What Real Tastes Like.
The classic double-double.
2 pieces of meat, cheese, fresh tomatoes, and lettuce. It's perfect. I don't know what they put in it, but it must be pieces of heaven.
The juiciest, tastiest burger you will ever have.
I love it so much.
Just deliciousness.
The ultimate burger.
Genuine people, genuine food, genuine passion. It's what's made In-N-Out, In-N-Out since 1948.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
And welcome back to Matador Field. We are moments away from restarting this game. 7-5 CSUN, 2 outs, top of the 8th. New pitcher is a right-hander for the Matadors, number 38, Kyle Nickel. Nickel is making his 2nd appearance of the season. He combined with the shutout for the Matadors against Portland last week. He got credit for his save, 3 innings of work, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, struck out 4, did not allow a run. One of those 2 hits was a double, though. Opponents hitting 182 in limited action against Kyle Nickel. Brian, what can you tell us about the freshman?
Kyle's got an interesting arm angle, one of those guys who drops it down to about almost near a submarine level. Fastball tails into righties, moves away from lefties. But he does a great job mixing and matching his pitches, balancing his fastball with his off speed because of that movement that he gets with his fastball. He can get that inside tail to a righty and throw the slider away, so he can really open up the zone to these hitters.
Oh, he gets to face the third baseman, Richard Miller, to start things off. Miller 1 for 3, reached on an error his last time up, and he takes the first pitch for a strike on the outer half. No balls, 1 strike, nobody on, and 2 outs. Top of the 8th, CSUN 7-5 in what was a 7-1 game after 6th. Nickel working from the stretch, quickly the 0-1. That same pitch, the tailing fastball for strike 2. Left-handed hitter is Miller against the righty Nickel. Nobody else in the pen behind him, so this would be Nickel's save, hopefully, for the Matadors. The 0-2 fouled off. Bullpen work now for Towson down the line. Pitchers just getting some stretches in, potentially for a save opportunity for them in the 9th inning.
Kevin, from my playing experience, facing guys like Kyle who throw that sidearm delivery, it was the toughest type of pitch and delivery to get down. I mean, you're rarely, if ever, going to see anything straight. Even his fastball's moving, whether it's away, whether it's a little bit of a cut in. Slider seems like it's sweeping about 4 feet, after he throws his fastball. So you've really got to adjust as a hitter and go in there knowing that you're not going to see anything straight.
The 1-2 pitch grounded to Jason Newman at first. He'll take it himself to end the inning. So Nickel comes in, does his job, 1 batter, 1 out. After 7.5, CSUN 7, Towson 5. We'll be right back listening to CSUN Baseball on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
3 runs, 3 hits.
Dedicated to preserving patients' knees, shoulders, and hips, Dr. Dominic Sisto and the LA Orthopedic Institute are proud partners of Matador Athletics. By avoiding full knee, shoulder, and hip surgery, LA Orthopedic is able to return each patient to a healthy, active lifestyle with faster rehabilitation and recovery. Dr. Dominic Sisto is the official orthopedic surgeon of CSUN Matador Athletics in 2015 and 16. For more information, visit laortho.org.
And we're back at Matador Field, bottom of the 8th for the Matadors against Towson. It's a 7-5 CSUN lead. Ryan McCarty will make his first appearance in the batter's box for the Matadors. He came in as a defensive replacement earlier in the game, his first collegiate action, and he will go against Bo Plaguey in there for his second inning of work. Still, the pitchers of record are the starters for both sides, as McCarty shows bunt and takes ball one.
Great opportunity right here for McCarty for his first at-bat of the year to be able to come in and get on base and pad this lead a little bit after it shrunk to 2 after the 3-run top of the 8th inning for the Tigers.
Showing bunt again, taking a fastball low and away for ball 2. Got another pitcher for the Matadors, still with his training jacket on, but getting some arm work, and I can't tell if that's Tay Vanderford getting loose for game 2 or not. Wouldn't be surprised if it were. The fastball low and in, not showing bunt McCarty there, and he takes it for ball 3. Just after you have Nickel come in, get the out, I would imagine he's staying in for the 9th. Especially in a doubleheader situation where you're going to may need some guys.
Absolutely.
In the second game. Blakey steps off the mound, or off the rubber, and will reset before the 3-0 pitch. Matadors will have a chance to close this one out in the 9th, at least a 2-run lead, taking it into the final frame. The 3-0 taking all the way McCarty, strike 1.
And Nichols, a guy the coaching staff is confident to leave in there for the 9th. I think he's shown enough so far this year, not just in the spring, but in the fall, of being not just a freshman, but someone who can come in and pitch like they're a sophomore or a junior. He has great composure on the mound.
3-1 pitch taking again is McCarty, strike 2.
Going back to Nickel, he's the kind of guy who you wouldn't be able to tell if he went out and threw 4 shutout or went out and threw 1 inning and gave up 5 runs. His demeanor's always the same, much like that of Nolan Bumstead. I mean, those are the kind of attitudes you need to succeed in baseball.
Swinging there is McCarty, and he lifts one into shallow right field. It will drop, his first collegiate hit, and the Matadors have a man on first with nobody away. Top of the order, and Eli Arona coming up to bat. Arona so far 1 for 4, drove in a run, scored another.
Great approach right there by McCarty, working it deep into a 3-0 count. Taking the fastball to the opposite field shows a great approach. It's always a good sign when you're taking the fastball that way.
Well, you look at the trio of catchers for the Matadors in this game so far today, between Hubbard and Santisfago and now McCarty, as Eli Arona drops down to sacrifice bunt. Plaguey throws to first in time for the out. 1-3 on the putout, and a sacrifice for Arona. McCarty goes up to second. Finishing the thought, McCarty and Santisfago with 2 of the 11 hits for the Matadors. 2 guys that coming into the season you wouldn't think would really see any time on the field as the 4th and 5th catchers on the team, behind Albie Weiss, Dylan Alexander, and then having Clayton Hubbard coming in with his experience. But they're putting it together, and now a chance for McCarty's in scoring position to tack on another run. Fred Smith coming up to bat, and they are going to intentionally pass him, or at least that's a signal from the catcher right now.
That's his second intentional pass of the game.
It would be. He was intentionally walked in the bottom of the 6th, I'm sorry, eventually got to third base. He scored a run today and is 1 for 3, also driving in 1, as the second pitch is there for ball 2.
And going back to the point about Santisfago and McCarty coming in and getting base knocks, I mean, depth is so crucial in baseball, not just from an injury standpoint, but it's a long season. They're playing over 50 games. Guys are going to need to get reps. Guys are going to need to get days off, and being able to have guys like John and Ryan on the bench who can come in and provide that kind of offense and reliability behind the plate, it could be the difference between a win or a loss.
So Fred Smith is intentionally walked here. It's first and second with 1 out, only for Kevin Riley, who's 3 for 4 today with 2 runs batted in. So it's kind of pick your poison for the Tigers here. Do you want to face Fred Smith, whose versatility and just ability to grind out at-bats could result in a run, or face the big bat of Riley, who seems to have it turned on today? He's had some trouble in the days leading up to today's game, but is starting to find it a little bit.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there for Towson head coach Mike Gottlieb, whether or not you want to face Smith or, you know, put him on and bring it up to Kevin Riley, who's been the hottest player in the game so far.
Riley steps in, and we'll get the first pitch from Bo Plaguey. First pitch is a fastball high and tight, ball 1, turning his head out of the way. Saw that for Plaguey last inning, and got that hit by pitch, I believe it was for Bumstead, where he just rifles the fastball high and tight, back off the hitters a little bit. He eventually got a double play ball in the inning from Rubalcaba. 1-0 the count. Breaking pitch low and away, and that's in the dirt.
Looks like he's trying to get a little bit extra on that fastball. We noticed it last inning with the hat coming off, trying to put a little more gas on it. And when you do that, you lose command of it. So you're going to sacrifice the command for some more velocity, and I think that's showing here as he's falling behind another hitter 2-0.
Looking back, the runners at second. That fastball is way outside, gets away from the catcher Martinez. The runners will advance on the wild pitch as McCarty goes to third and Smith to second. And now 3-0 to Riley. Do you just pass him to face Albie Weiss? It's another bat in the lineup that you would rather not have to deal with, but set up potentially an inning-ending double play and keep this a 2-run game.
I think that's the right call. I mean, Riley isn't the fastest guy on the team, and getting a double play is certainly a possibility, especially with Weiss on deck. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them put Riley on base right here, and it looks like they will.
And so it will officially, even though it's just one intentional ball, go in as an intentional walk for Kevin Riley, and the bases are loaded with one away for Albie Weiss. Weiss 2 for 4 today, has driven in 1 run and has scored 1.
And Riley on base for the 4th time today, having a great day. 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, a double, and a walk to go with it.
Meeting on the mound for Towson. It's the pitching coach coming out to have a chat with Bo Plague. Matadors runners will have a conference of their own over at first base with Jordan Tuig, who really manages this offense for the Matadors, and make sure they understand the situation. You know, go when the ball's on the ground, force at any base, 1 out.
Yeah, the key in a situation like this is, you're going to have happy feet out there. You're going to want to advance and score. So really getting a proper read on the trajectory of the ball, especially on a line drive, and not just breaking immediately, but noticing that the ball could possibly be caught and taking that jab step back to the base you're coming from is huge. So that was a good idea right there by Coach Tuig to call them over and give them a couple reminders in this situation.
Well, now we're back to action here at Matador Field. As the conference is over, Weiss steps in, and Plague toes the rubber. Working from the center of the mound with the bases loaded. Middle infield is back, hoping to turn a double play. Corner infield is in. First pitch to Weiss. Half swing, they're checked down to first, and he did not go around. It is ball 1. I'll be honest here, I thought for sure he went around.
Looked like it.
I wouldn't have even checked down to first.
Weiss is he's clearly looking fastball here. Pitcher hasn't showed good command with his off speed, so knowing Weiss, and it looks like someone's been ejected.
It's somebody from the dugout for Towson. We'll see which coach that is, but he's jawing about that non-swing and a miss call. And you know what? I agree with him. That's one of the plays in this game where it's 7-5. It's a close game. You're clawing your way back. That's potentially a strike 1 and trying to get a double play to end the inning. And in my opinion, a missed call at first base, you got to go out and fight for your team there. I don't know what else you can do.
Absolutely. And as a player, that's what you want to see. You want to see your coach out there putting his job for the game on the line, and I think as a player that sort of lights a little bit of a fire in you, and you see your coaches that invested into the game, and it just makes you that much more hungry to go out and cut this deficit to maybe 1 or even pull it up with a tie.
So it looks like that was the head coach, Mike Gottlieb, who will be sent to the bus, out of sight and sound of the game until the end of this game. He can come back for game 2, but he'll have to spend the next 5+ outs in solitary. As we reset, 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Albie Weiss at the dish, bases loaded. 7-5 CSUN lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit to left center field, going back, and gone. Albie Weiss, a grand slam home run, his first of the season. The Matadors lead now 11-5. And that should just about put a bow on it here for the Matadors. They're still the top of the 9th to play, but have regained a 6-run lead.
And we were right there with his approach, Kevin. I mean, sitting there ahead 1-0. Pitcher wasn't having good command with his off speed, so no reason not to sit fastball in that situation. And Albie Weiss puts a great swing on it and puts the Matadors up by 6.
So So that one you knew right off the bat was going. The wind not blowing at all, but still it didn't need any assistance. As the left-handed hitting Sablock, the right fielder, comes in to bat, takes the first pitch for a ball.
Sablock 1 for 4 on the day with a run scored. Also 1 strikeout. Takes, curveball for a strike, catches the outside corner, surprises Sablock with the call. Count sits at 1-1 with 1 out.
Rifling through my notes here left by the incomparable Nick Bocanegra regarding the last time the Matadors hit a grand slam. I know it's in here somewhere. Well, if it isn't, it should be. Here we go. Nope, the last time the Matadors hit a grand slam after this play is Nick Sablock grounds it over to first. Covering is the pitcher, and they'll get the play at first base. 3-1 on the putout. Wouldn't you know it, Albie Weiss hit a grand slam last season here against William and Mary on March 10th. So just shy of a year, he does it again. He's got the last 2 grand slams for the Matadors, as Jason Newman will bat now with nobody on and 2 away.
And that stat doesn't surprise me. Albie Weiss has tremendous power. I mean, he showed it throughout the fall. He's a guy who loves to pull the ball and put as much juice under it as he can, and he really showed it on that swing. Like you said, no wind, but again, he didn't need any. I mean, he must have cleared the fence by 30, 40 feet with that home run.
Conference now for Jason Newman with Coach Tuig over at first base. A reminder that Game 2 of this doubleheader will start half an hour after Game 1, so as this game continues, we are looking like it will be closer to that 1:30 that was scheduled.
Newman getting some quality playing time today, 0 for 2, but with 2 walks, so certainly making his presence felt on the base paths.
First pitch, ball. One ball, no strikes with 2 away. And that pitch to Newman is fouled back to the screen for strike 1. So there is somebody in the bullpen for the Matadors. I want to say that is Matt Campbell down there, as the 1-1 pitch is low and outside for ball 2. I'm seeing 22 on the numbers, but I could be wrong. Campbell had the start on Tuesday against Pepperdine. I had ventured to guess that it was Vanderford getting loose for the next game, as the 2-1 is grounded to third, throw over to first, and that will retire the side. But the big fly for Albie Weiss, driving in 4. The Matadors get the grand slam, and after 8 complete, it's 11-5. You're listening to the Matadors baseball against Towson on the CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
It's your imagination. Pieology just feeds it. The best pizza you're ever going to eat is the official pizza of CSUN Athletics. Now open in Northridge, pizza lovers know Pieology creates artisan-style custom pizzas. 50 unlimited toppings, house-made crust, and signature sauces, all for one affordable price even Matadors can sink their teeth into. Cooked in an 800-degree open-flame deck oven, ready in about 5 minutes. So for a delicious pie, fresh garden salad, and an ice-cold beer, check out Pieology on the corner of Reseda and Nordoff. As good as a game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer.
And we're back for the top of the 9th here. CSUN and Towson at Matador Field. Matadors leading 11-5. Albie Weiss's grand slam breaking the game open in the home half of the 8th. Kyle Nickel will finish things out for the Matadors. He's got a 6-run lead. Came in for a 1/3 of an inning. One batter got the out. He's in line for the save now, as he was in there with a 2-run lead. And then gets the benefit of Weiss's grand slam to make things a little bit more comfortable. But he will face the top of the order, Colin Dyer, Billy Lennox, and Richie Palacios for Towson here in the top of the ninth. A pinch hitter is on deck for Towson. It is 35, Noah Cabrera, who would come up to hit for Lennox. But anyway, here's Dyer. First pitch on the inside corner, called strike one. We again send a reminder that Game 2 will start a half an hour after the end of Game 1. We will not have a broadcast for that game, just live stats available on GoMatadors.com. The 0-1 pitch is fouled off the right side, and it is strike two. No balls and 2 strikes. Matadors so far in this game, and that you would think they'd close the game out here. 11 runs, 12 hits, and 4 errors so far for Towson, 5, 9, and 1.
And it looks like that is Matt Campbell in the Matador bullpen getting some work in. Might just be a light bullpen in preparation for Tuesday's start against the Bruins.
The 0-2 pitch, half swing, and swung on and missed for strike 3. They didn't need to check down. Batter knew it and he immediately headed back.
Tremendous slider right there from Kyle Nickel after working 2 fastballs in, getting the tail on the inside corner, and then to be able to throw that slider on the outside of the plate and have it finish as a ball, that's tough as a hitter to get a read on. Great execution right there by Kyle.
So Noah Cabrera will pinch hit. And the Matadors are going to the bullpen, so Kyle Nickel will not get a save opportunity. Matt Campbell will come in a non-save situation. We're going to take a pause, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments. You're listening to CSUN Baseball on CSUN Sports Network from Learfield.
To all my friends, present, past and beyond, especially those who weren't with us too long. Life is the most precious thing you can lose. While you were here, the fun was never ending. Life a minute was only beginning. Captain Coleman Nichols, this one for you! Yeah! We'll be there, no hesitation. Brotherhood's our rule, we cannot bend. When you're feeling too close to the bottom, you know who it is you can count on. Someone will pick you up again. We can conquer anything together. All of us are bonded forever. If I die, you die. That's the way it is.
And we're back. Matt Campbell takes over on the mound for the Matadors. Number 22, a right-hander, looking at his numbers so far. Well, he doesn't have any official numbers. He only pitched against Pepperdine on Tuesday. Those numbers won't be official for another month or two. So this will officially go in as his first appearance. It's kind of weird. First pitch, bunting, is 35.
Slow to get out of the box there. It looked like he lost his footing. If he would have kept that up, he might have been able to beat that out. But great opportunity right here for Campbell to come out and get some work in after a rough outing against Pepperdine. I believe he got pulled in the first after giving up 6. Great opportunity for him to come in here and just get some work in.
So 2 gone here. And this will be Richie Palacios against Matt Campbell. First pitch swinging, lines foul down the first base line. No balls, a strike, 2 outs here. And an 11-5 CSUN lead at the moment. Waiting for that foul ball to be retrieved. It rolled all the way down into the corner, kicked back into the field of play. Now we're back to action. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch from Campbell to Palacios. Fastball outside, and it's ball 1. Campbell looking to finish this off for the Matadors. 1-1 pitch. Fastball fouled back to the screen. And the Matadors are 1 strike away from going to 3-2 on the season, taking game 1 of this doubleheader and sending us into the afternoon game, which looks on schedule for 1:30. We'll confirm if we can. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 9th, 11-5 CSUN. Shift is on, and Campbell into the windup. The pitch, fastball low and in for a ball. We'll do it again. Campbell gets a sign from McCarty. Palacios at the dish. 1-2. Fastball is low, and the count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded to the right side. Fielded by Bumstead on the shift. The third baseman throws out Palacios at first, and the Matadors will take game 1 of this doubleheader. Final score 11-5. The winning pitcher is Sam Myers. And the big play, Albie Weiss's grand slam in the 8th. CSUN will take the first half. We'll be back for game 2 in just about 30 minutes. We'll take a final look at the stats when they become complete. O'Brien, your thoughts on the game so far?
Thought it was an outstanding game all across the board. Night and day difference from yesterday's series opener. After mustering just 5 hits and 1 run on Friday, they were able to explode for 11 runs and 12 hits today. Outstanding offensively from Albie Weiss to Kevin Riley, but I think it all started on the mound today with Sam Myers. Sam went 5 innings, faced 20 batters, and only gave up 4 hits, no runs, struck out 4. He's off to a great start this year, but clean up some things defensively, and you've got a pretty flawless game here. But outstanding effort on the mound, outstanding effort in the box, and just a much-needed team win after a lack